Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready.
To inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jessie, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jesselyn Abel, that's JESSELYNE, Abel, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jessie.
Amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Marsha. How you doing?
Listen, I'm talking and I'm on mute this morning. We need a whole lot of grace this morning. A lot of things happening behind the scenes, but we're here. We made it.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Marsha. I had a rough night last night, so I'm just what is going on?
Listen, it's human. I don't even want to start talking about yesterday, but today's Saturday. It's literally our favorite day of the week. That's why God made Saturdays, okay?
Yes.
Let's just put that out there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And we just want to welcome, everyone to Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jessie. Yes, where we amplify the voice of
positive influencers.
Yes. And we're back another Saturday giving thanks and so grateful for the many blessings. Listen, I'm looking through my window right now and it's real sunny. You should have seen the last couple of days, pure rain.
Really?
Pure rain. I mean, the grass is looking green and lush and everything. So I know they're thanking God. But my washing is saying, dear Lord, I need some sun.
Me over here actually snowed a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, it snowed like a little flurries and stuff. And then it did stick to the ground a little bit. But now it's all pretty much washed away. But yeah, it's starting to snow a little bit. So hopefully we get a Christmas snow. We'll see.
Yes, hopefully you get a white Christmas. You need to film it so we in Jamaica can see what that looks like.
Yeah. Crossing our fingers for crossing.
Yes, definitely. And so in the same order of giving thanks, we want to first of all thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just allowing us to wake up this morning and inhale his incredible fresh air and all the good things he's done for us. We want to thank him so much. Jessie, who else can we thank this morning?
Yeah, so besides our number one, Jesus Christ, and thank you for bringing us through this week, God, we have our awesome sponsors here to thank. So first up is become a member of the Success Plan with UMEDigitalInc.com, and they're on a mission to empower 1 million people. So if you're looking to promote your brand, to even have your own digital marketplace, you want to go to UMEDigitalInc.com/EDRP to establish, develop, register, and promote your brand. Next off, we have Mindfulness in Ministry Masterclass. You guys have to check them out if you want to learn how to promote and how to coach through your business, right, Marsha?
Definitely.
So you have to head up to their website, go to www.mycoachministry.com, and they will help you with that. Third up, if you are a faith-based organization, a church, a business owner, anything like that, you have to have an empowerment tool. So you have to go visit accessbusinesstree.com to learn more. They're an awesome company. Go to accessbusinesstree, that's TRI.com to learn more. Now it's holiday season and people are getting their gifts, and people are shopping, and we have an awesome sponsor for you guys to get all your goodies and with a discount code, because you know money's tight right now.
And COVID doesn't affect shopping, people. It doesn't affect shopping. So come on over.
Exactly. So you want to go online and you want to get your, holiday shopping, and they also have a storefront. So go to shopandown.com to set up your storefront. If you have a business, if you're looking for little things to get people, go to shop, the letter N, own.com, and get the discount code WWMJ.
Definitely. And of course, the battle rages on.
Yes.
The battle rages on.
Yes.
But it's Christmas. So we're still battling, but in a nice Christmas mood, right?
Yeah.
So you know, guys, every week you gotta vote. You gotta vote. Okay. And weekends is behind because running it hot is DJ Kelly. Good morning, DJ Kelly. We love you. We appreciate you.
Love you.
But you have got to put weekends on your voting list.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. We have awesome songs. Jesse's list is really awesome.
Yes. What songs do you have this week, Jesse?
Okay, so for this week, I don't know, I went through like one of my old faves, like way back when, Michael Bublé. I love his voice. And I went through one of his old songs. It's called Hold On. And I felt like it's really, really prevalent during this time of year, especially with everything that's going on. So I could listen to him all day, but this is just one of the songs. Next up, we have a different collaboration on already a classic called How Deep Is Your Love from the Bee Gees, but this is actually performed by PJ Morton featuring Yebba. Marsha, when I tell you this is probably my favorite rendition of this song outside of just the original.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
It is my favorite. Then we go on to Hear My Prayer by Callie Day. I don't know if you've heard of her. I know she has like this viral video you might have seen. But she is an absolutely amazing singer, so you really want to check that out. It just lulls you and it just brings God's grace in. And then 2 final songs to get you pumped and going is Love Theory by Kirk Franklin. I love him so much. And the last one, Mary Mary, was on my mind, so it's Go Get It by Mary Mary.
See, now you start a whole music thing in my mind, Jessie. Come on. That's an awesome list. All right, so for my list this week, I have the song Be Lifted by MOG Music. And that's an African group. I like the Africans. I like how they worship, right? And then we have Paul Morton. Yeah, so we both have Paul Morton this week with Release, the song Release. And we have Paul Morton again, Double or Nothing, Bow Down. I think the song is just, I would say it goes beyond seasons, you know, just the way you explained in the beginning about when the wise men came, they fell down, bowed down, you know, so it still brings you into that old Christmas feeling. And then again, we have Kirk Franklin.
Oh, it's Battle of Kirk.
The same artist this week. With one of my favorites, and of course, up-tempo, Jesus is the reason for the season, So I definitely have that on loop all week. And then, of course, to take it down a bit for those who are not definitely into the type of heart-pumping sort of music, we have Christmas Carol smooth jazz.
Nice. That's nice.
While you're having your little quiet time or on your bed, winding down, I think it's such a beautiful collection of instrumental songs.
That is beautiful.
Yes, and of course, we are found on pretty much every single platform that is out there. So if you're looking for UME Radio, definitely make sure that you subscribe to UMERadio.com. And there's a new feature that's happening with UME Radio. For each of our shows, now you have to register. Right? If you want to come all the way inside the studio, once you get over to UMERadio.com, you just look for your favorite show on UME Radio, which we know is Weekends with Marsha and Jesse. So you're going to click and then you're going to follow the instructions. That's there. Real simple if you're going to join us in our live studio audience. So it's no longer just going over to Zoom, clicking, coming in. So that's something new that's happening with our platform. Super exciting. And of course, the platform itself has been rearranged for the holidays. You know, like
Yes.
when you just have the holidays and you move stuff around in your house. It's
Yep.
just so refreshing over there on UMERadio.com. And so
Yep.
you definitely have to check out or whatever, everything that we're doing for Christmas over there.
Yes.
We're also on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Podcast, YouTube, for those who are watching on YouTube this morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Welcome back. Remember to tag a friend. Remember to tell somebody about what we're doing.
Yes. Share, share, share.
Yeah. And we're on Stitcher and Instagram. So remember just to join us on all our social media platforms. We are on all podcast platforms. I don't think we said Podbean, but we're on Podbean too. All right. And for those who are listening all over the world in our 60 plus 64, 67, I think we're at 67 now. There's
Yeah.
I totally forgot. There's a cool map on umeradio.com where it's showing you all the countries that people are listening in from.
Oh, that is
And I
so
think one
cool.
Saturday we're just gonna look at that map and just take a minute and just thank God
Yes.
for all our
Yes.
listeners, right?
Yes, that is so cool.
Sure, for sure. And so, Jessie, tell us what's coming up in today's program.
All right. So today, top of the morning, we have morning worship. Our topic is a countdown to Christmas, Joy by YouVersion Bible app. And then we move on to our Inspire segment, which is one of my favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites, but our Inspire segment is greeting from across the world.
Yes.
Then we have our spotlight with Miss Lauren Carter. And then at 8:30, we go on to our news. What's going on in New York, what's going on in the Caribbean, and what our hot topic is. We have guests Latoya Wilson and Danielle Powell. So I'm excited to hear about them.
Yes. Yes. And right, so they'll be with us. Actually, let me apologize for that error. It's actually Latoya Wilson and her husband who was featured on last Monday's Let's Talk Relationships, and the topic was Christmas lockdown rules.
Oh.
When I tell you, when I tuned in, it was super hot in that room.
Ooh.
So we definitely have to get their feedback as to what the experience was like. And it was a panel with pure couples for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And by the way, speaking of LTR, Jessie, what's happening with us on Monday?
Yeah, we're gonna crash it. We're gonna crash it.
You've heard of wedding crashers? Mm-hmm. We're gonna be crashing LTR this Monday, so y'all need to listen in.
It's gonna be nice.
On Monday at 9 p.m. This is grown folk stuff. Yeah. So I know the kids might be listening to the Saturday mornings because it's a family show, but for the Monday night show, it's kind of PG.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But we want you to join us over there with Lady Misty and DJ KTE for an awesome Monday night on LTR. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. What do you think?
I'm excited. I can't wait because I know we're gonna be awesome. We're gonna give them some competition. Yep.
Yes. All right. So we have inside our Educate segment wealth mindset, and we're going to be looking at a shoestring Christmas budget discussion.
Yes.
Right. We know C-19 has affected a lot of our budgets for many things, and so now we have to really prioritize what's important, so we're going to be looking at that this morning. And inside Black Wellness, we have home remedies for seasonal colds and flus, which I think is always relevant because the seasons change ever so often, especially between September, October, November, going all the way back to next year about March. So seasonal stuff, we definitely have to look at that. And college life, Jessie, you're going to be talking about school year wrap up.
Yeah, it's intense, Marsha. So we're gonna go into that.
Yeah, it's intense. And we have community support with Mr. Prince Hall from the We Believe movement. And he did something really special for Christmas. There was a gentleman that had a really large tumor on his face, like literally like this. And so he teamed up with a couple of friends to help him get the tumor removed for Christmas. And we want to hear that heartwarming story this morning. Yeah.
That is beautiful. And last but not least, we have our motivational segment. And at 10, we have Champions for the Kingdom. We have Mistress Felicia Williams Morrison, singer-songwriter from Canada that's coming on. So hopefully she'll play some music or I'm excited. And then we have Travel, Mistress Judith Fallon Reed. And she's going to explain her experience, penguin experience. I think she went to Antarctica. So yeah,
yes,
that
she
would be
did.
interesting to see and like know about because I've never
It's
been there.
almost as interesting as the Jamaican bobsled team because we don't have snow in Jamaica.
Right.
So to hear about her going to Antarctica, seeing the penguins, what that is like.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting and cool. And then last but not least, we have Coach Raquel and her children's book. So yeah, I'm excited to hear a little snippet about that. See where we can get
story time has always been an interesting tradition for us, for everyone.
Yeah.
Going to bed, hearing stories, passing on, learning lessons from stories, and things like that. So I'm really, really excited. So this particular segment, I'm hoping that you can get the kids at 10:35 to just kind of join in and we want you to order the book, guys.
Yes.
You have got to order this book.
Yes.
And you'll find it on Shop and Own and also mycoachministry.com. You definitely don't want to miss that segment. And at 10:40, I hate saying goodbye every week. Like the week is like, it's like way too long for the next Saturday. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You gotta wait and you gotta be up early. But I hope that you guys always love listening to us and sharing and commenting. We love hearing you guys. So
awesome. And just a disclaimer before we begin, as usual, do you want to get it this week, Jessie?
Yeah, I'll say it this week because you've been saying it a lot. So disclaimer, the views and opinions included in this program belong to their author or speaker and do not necessarily mirror the views and opinions of the UMERADIO. Our employees are obliged not to make any defamatory clauses, infringe, or authorize infringement of any legal right.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And now we get into our morning worship. And of course, our morning worship is brought to you by a countdown to Christmas. Okay, so this morning I want to read for you from St. Luke chapter 2, from verses 8 going all the way down. It's going to be a short devotion this morning, and it says, and I'm reading from the New International Version. And it says, and there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks by night. An angel of the Lord appeared unto them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them. And they were terrified. But the angel said unto them, do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy to all people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. Suddenly, a great company of heavenly hosts appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those whom his favor rests. Are you favored by God this morning?
Yes.
Now, when the angels had left them and gone back into heaven, the shepherds said to each other, let's go to Bethlehem and let's see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about. So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what they had been told about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said unto them. But Mary treasured up all these things, and she pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had just heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. So our topic for this morning is, it is for all people. So it's a starry silent night in the hill country by Bethlehem. Around you, nothing can be heard but the snoring of sheep and other shepherds. I did not know that that's not even a word, they snore. Shepherding is a lonely profession that's left you socially separated from the rest of your community. But one night, a bright light suddenly appears with a host of angels telling you they bring you good news of great joy that is for all people. Like those shepherds, you are also invited to rejoice over the miracle of Christ's birth. It doesn't matter who you are, the joy of the season is for everyone. The rich, the poor, the happy, the lonely, the forgotten, and even the greatly loved. Let's pray. God, we thank you for the joy that's generously given to us because of the birth of your son, Jesus. Thank you for calling us by our names. Today, we ask that we glorify you by sharing your joy with others. We love you, and today we choose to worship you. Amen. Christmas is for all people. So it doesn't matter who you are. At first, research shows that at the time, people would believe that the birth of Christ or the coming of the Savior was just for the Jews. But now we know the truth. John 3:16 says what? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever there talks about different tribes, different nations, different creeds, different color, and whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Sometimes I ask myself the question, what if Jesus didn't come? That's something to think about this week. Thank you so much for listening to our devotional this morning. God bless you. Wow. I love that topic, Jessie. It is for all people.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. And that's a good question that you brought up, is what if Jesus didn't come? We don't know. That because he was the changing point in history. So
yes. And it's not just the Bible. I mean, history also has recorded about things he's done, things he's said.
Yeah.
And even up to his crucifixion, at the point when he died and the earthquake and all sort of things were happening, history books recorded it. That's something different from the Bible. So we know that his coming was something profound. And we should receive it and just embrace it for what it is.
Yes, it is. And even people who want to deny him or don't want to believe him, they know his name forever.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Christmas. I love the fact that he came. We all know that he wasn't born on the 25th, but hey.
Yeah.
He came. That's what's important.
And that is what's important. And just like him, who helped unify kind of the whole world and like just let us know that we're all just one big entity under him, we're going to actually hear some greetings from around the world in our Inspire segment. So
yes,
let's stay tuned.
Happy holidays! It's your girl Marsha J, and I'm back again in the streets with the holiday edition. I am Marsha J from Weekends with Marsha J and Jessie right here on UMERADIO, Saturdays at 8 a.m. This week, we're going to be taking greetings from across the world. A special thank you to Greetings from Across the World TV on YouTube, and also to all our many UMERADIO guests who participated. Let's lean in.
fijne feestdagen toegewenst uit Nederland. Happy holidays from Holland.
Mas Nene, Dylan, and Uncle Dane. I miss you and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Sending greetings to my grandson Kesa, Ray, Garfield, my daughter Lily Shaw, Tamara Simit, my sister Melrose, my mom, and my brethren. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
My name is Blossom and I'm in London. I'm sending greetings to my family, my mom in Old Harbour, my fiancé Andrew, and my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law Smitty, my sister Maxine, Claudette, to my grandma and my rest of family them, Donna, Jeannie, Kelma, Jackson, Chantel, Dawn, Verona, April. Merry Christmas and I'll see you next year soon again.
I'm Tanika, this is my cousin Mario, and Dijon, my cousin Ryan, my father dad, Dave, my baby cousin Natalia, and my auntie Anna. Greetings from Bristol, Talia, James, and Tally.
My brother Richard, my fiance, sister Fiona, my dad, Popsy, and all my family and friends.
To all the teleprominent, send thanks to them, and my baby father Garfield and all his family.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, this is Dolores. I'm calling from Brixton, London. Greetings to my son Roger Austin, my sisters and brother Beverly, Pearl, Kevin, Ricky, Paul, Ned, Barrington, and the family in settlement, Michael in Harborview, Zion Hill Church. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, love you all, bye.
My name is Alicia, and this is David, my son. We're in London, and we'd like to send greetings to my mom, Leonora Sanderson, my nephew, Ricardo Hyde, and little Kelsey, all my cousins, Latoy Neal, Uncle Nanan, Ezra, Desi.
Merry Christmas, Nana.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I'm Gloria, calling from Birmingham, England. I'm sending greetings to my 4 sons, Paul, Sandy, Damien, and Michael, and my one and only granddaughter, Tamara Barrett, also to Beryl, Nikki, and all the rest of family. Merry Christmas, and I hope you may have a happy New Year. Bye.
I'm Ken from Birmingham, England. This is my mom, Claudine White, my daughter, Kelicia, my cousin, Sasha, and my uncle, Orange, my grandma, Gloria Thompson, all my family from Macatree, St. Catherine, everyone from Devon Avenue, Kingston, St. Thomas, Augustown, Clarendon, mom, my dad, my son, rest of the family, them and friends.
Uncle Rubal, Auntie Blossom, Auntie Alive,
my mom, Gloria Thompson, my dad, Herman White, my uncles, my aunts, my sisters, brothers, all the way from Cashier in St. Thomas.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Wow.
Awesome. That's so sweet.
Yes, and I'm so happy that UMERADIO, we are able to connect people across the miles, because we know that travel has definitely been affected by the current what's going on in the world right now. And so we're so happy that we could. I want to say thank you so much to all the persons who decided to participate, just to send some love to your loved ones across the miles.
Yes, it's so nice to hear that. And I'm excited when you mentioned that map, Marsha, to see all around the world. And that'll be so cool.
Definitely. All right. So we want to hear more about what's going on in the world. And so with that being said, definitely, let's go to the news. Wow, do you see that?
All right, guys, so we're heading off into the news, and I know right now everyone's talking about C19, right, Marsha?
Yes, definitely.
Today, this Saturday, I just wanted to not talk about C19. I wanted to be a little bit more positive. I wanted to bring that in. So I actually found from businessjournals.com in New York that NYC area companies join in a coalition to grow the Black workforce. So 7 New York City area companies have joined 27 other businesses to form 110. Now, what this is a new coalition of large companies committed to advancing 1 million Black Americans who do not yet have a college degree into employment with potential for career advancement over the next 10 years. Now, some of those companies are American Express, Verizon Communications, Armonk-based IBM Corporation, and purchase-based Pepsi and Coca-Cola Inc. And also New Jersey companies such as Johnson & Johnson, Kenilworth-based Merck and Company, and Roseland-based ADP. Now, what is their mission? So 110 will work to achieve their goal by reducing exclusionary, I can never say that word, hiring practices. They're also helping employers cultivate talent pipelines, working closely with nonprofits, and connecting Black talent with other open jobs and training. So that is absolutely amazing. And some of the founders and board members of 110, I apologize if you guys are listening. If I butcher your names, I apologize right now. But it is Ken Fraser, Chairman and CEO of Merck, Charles Phillips, Managing Partner of recognized Chairman of the Black Economic Alliance, Jeannie Romanty, Executive Chairman and former CEO of IBM, and Kevin Scherer, former Chairman and CEO of Amgen and former faculty member of Harvard Business School. And 110 links our companies with the critical work we know we need to do to improve racial equity in America. We know that that is a huge thing, and that was stated by Jeannie Romanty. And he also said that this will not only help our individual companies, but by removing structural barriers that have disproportionately hindered Black Americans from joining the middle class, it would also help lift all Americans. And some other companies that are associated with 110, there's a long list, I'm just gonna name some popular ones. Allstate, AT&T, Bank of America, Cisco, Cleveland Clinic, Comcast, Delta Airlines, Humana, Lowe's, Nike, Nordstrom, Walmart, Whirlpool Corporation. So yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And that is just a topic that I felt we really needed to hear about, because I know a lot of people, it's hard right now with C19 and finding jobs. So to know that some companies are actually pulling together in New York City area, and particularly on a mission to help Black Americans and Black people and help kind of lower that, racial barrier and equity and just income coming in, especially not having any college degrees, is a huge thing.
Big deal.
Yeah, and hopefully I hopefully see that this is just a small little, stepping stone, and other states will do that, and countries around the world will eventually do that. So yeah, I just need a break from C19 for a bit.
I know, for sure. All right. Thank you so much for that, Jessie. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
I do want to share, we can mention a little bit of C19, that the vaccine is slowly coming out. And I heard that Biden said that he wants to try to do 100 million vaccine shots in his first 100 days, but they're, getting some, some kind of feedback or bad feedback about that to see if he actually can execute that. So that is also going on, and there's a possible Governor Cuomo may or may not do indoor dining to close again starting next week. So
really,
it's kind of like touch and go, but we'll get some updates.
I know. And then I heard too, Jesse, that Bill Gates is refusing to let his children take the vaccine.
I hope people could see my face right now, Marsha. I'm giving that face, like my glasses are on, but my face.
What is up with that? But he is voting to enforce
the vaccine.
And that everyone takes it. And that is something to definitely have a conversation about.
I don't want to go into the rabbit hole, but the fact that you have money like stocked into people getting the vaccine, but you yourself and your family don't want to take the vaccine.
It lends itself to ask the question, what is going on? And really, if Bill Gates, and this is one of the top influential people in the world, refuses to take it, the question is why? And I know a lot of people are excited about the vaccine and hey, we'll be able to travel and it will make life a whole lot easier. But I don't know.
I'm just sipping tea. And just so you guys know, this is from the Healing Oracle website. It's healingoracle.ch. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, beautiful family. There's the picture. I'm guessing him, his wife, and I think like his three children. But I'm just sipping my tea. That's all. That is what I will say.
In the days to come, we will see. Yep. We will see, because I remember us having a discussion with a nurse a few weeks ago, and she did mention to us that one of the questions that people were raising was the speed at which the vaccine was being developed, even though red tapes can be pulled in order to speed up the process. But what will be the effects of speeding up the process? That's something we should think about for sure. All right. So I am definitely going to tell you some of the things that are happening in the Caribbean this week. If you're done, Jesse, let me know.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to thank definitely loopcaribbeannews.com for the following. So Caribbean Airlines expands cargo services in the United States. So Caribbean Airlines Cargo is expanding its service within the United States just in time for the Christmas season. CAL has partnered with General Sales and Service Agent, GSSA, Network Cargo Management Corp. To expand its coverage in the U.S. CAL said in a press release that the arrangement took effect on December 7th. Today's the 12th, right? So the agreement with Network Cargo Management, however, excludes Miami and New York, which are Caribbean Airlines' main gateway to the Caribbean. So sales and operations in these territories will continue to be managed by the Caribbean Airlines Cargo Group. So, that is some amount of good news in terms of travel. And of course, we continue to have heavy rains here in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
For sure. And we're hoping not just today, but, because we get sun maybe like once a week. So that's definitely what's happening in the weather. But I was definitely scanning through the Caribbean news and I was like, man, it's hard to find some good news.
Yeah.
However, I want to also share with you the University of the West Indies receives US $250,000 towards student scholarships from CCRIF SPC, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. Right, so this is formerly the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility. Recently presented a check of US $250,000 to the University of the West Indies to assist students in need of financial support. Education will still cost you, whether or not there's a pandemic. So approximately $108,000 of the fund are already allocated to the undergraduate and postgraduate scholarships for the semester of 2020-2021 in the academic year. That's awesome, right?
That is awesome. Yeah.
So the remaining $142,000 will cover the tuition fees of students who, due to COVID-19 pandemic, are finding it difficult to pay attention and are at risk of not completing their studies. So the financial support is a part of the fund's response geared towards supporting members and their key stakeholders, the entity said in a press release. So I'm so excited that companies are still reaching out and they are offering their help to students. And it's important that we finish our education. That shouldn't be delayed because of international crisis. Right. So congratulations to those students who have picked up that very huge grant that is afforded them. And we just pray that they make use of it and they really and truly work very hard so they can help us to solve some of these things that are happening in the world.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's the Caribbean News Roundup. But before we go to, we have a clip here with Ms. Lauren Carter. We should have another guest, but they're not in studio yet. So we're going to flip that around and we're going to listen to a clip by Ms. Lauren Carter, who's going to be inside our spotlight for this week. But you know, I know that we have to hear news, bad news, and good news. But for Christmas, can we just keep it positive, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Worry about, you know, all the things that are happening sideways. You know, let's just be in a mode of gratitude and just keep that where it is.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, George. Thank you so much for emceeing this event tonight. You know, I really thank George for supporting me and being on call. You know, I called him up and asked him to MC the event, and he said, whatever you want me to do. And so I really appreciate you, George. Thank you so much for your warm introduction. Thank you so much for your commitment as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And my heart is overjoyed tonight, and I'm actually blown away by what has already been said. You know, Ken Bright, you know, a person who, you know, he was a person who was living a life of crime, as he said, and turned his life around, and now he's giving back. And I thank him for his support. Then you heard from Shez Darden, a professional, a human resources professional, someone who works with people, someone who knows systems and knows operations, and also my sister. And so, you know, I thank her for her warm words. I also want to thank John DiGiovanni, who spoke, someone who moved to Mount Vernon more than 30 years ago. And as he said, moved here perhaps when it was at its height, and has seen now the decline, the deterioration. Someone who is also committed to the community, a community activist. And I thank him for his words as well. I want to thank everyone who is on the Zoom call tonight. You will have time, you will have an opportunity to ask questions, you will have an opportunity to make comments. But I want to thank you. I want to take this time to thank you for being on the call tonight, for joining us. And I want to thank Patrick Murphy, who is the one behind the scenes, the technical director, putting everything together.
Kudos, I want to thank him. Kudos.
Yes, yes, yes. Kudos to Patrick. Thank you so much. And as George said, you know, this is different. You know, we're used to being in government, working in politics, right? We were used to going to fundraisers at, you know, local restaurants to the most ritzy, elegant places. And, you know, you would come in, there would be a cocktail hour where people would mingle and they would network. And then you would go on into the dinner where, you know, people, they would make speeches and, you know, there was a lot of activity, a lot of action going on. So now we are confined, so to speak, right? Confined to our homes, confined, you know, sitting behind our computer, or maybe even listening on your phone. But nonetheless, we have learned to pivot. We've learned to be resilient during this time. And it is a difficult time, not just for our nation, But it's also a difficult time for the city. It has been a difficult time for the city. As some of our speakers have said, they have witnessed the city's decline, the deterioration, the increase in crime, scandals, cronyism, bad actors, incompetence, and quite frankly, politics. It has hurt this city. It has hurt and damaged our reputation. It has, yes, it has hurt the people. The people of the city are hurt. They're disappointed. They're disappointed in their elected officials. And so that is why I chose to run. I chose to run because I cannot sit back and see what's happening in the city and not try to bring solutions. At the prodding of so many people, as you heard Shez say, you know, before I was terminated, when I was working for City Hall, you know, several people would always ask me, Lauren, why don't you run? And some of them are on the call tonight, and they can probably tell you that, you know, Lauren really didn't pay us much attention, or she would just say, no, that's not for me, you know. And when I saw what was happening in this city, and I saw that some people didn't have solutions, perhaps some people didn't know that what their role was to bring those solutions to the table. And so that's why I decided to join the race. You know, I was on an interview this morning on WVOX, Hour of Power, right, with A.J. Woodson of Black Westchester. And he asked me a question that was asked of me by a different correspondent in the press. And that was, are you running to retaliate against folks in City Hall because of what was done to you? And quite honestly, that was never a thought. It never crossed my mind to run in order to retaliate against people. First of all, it's not my nature, which was my answer today. And secondly, if people understood the operation of Mount Vernon government, they would understand that I can't retaliate against people. Perhaps if I was running for mayor, one could make that argument. Oh, she's going to retaliate because she's going to fire everyone. As a council person, I would be elected to be a legislator, a person who is enacting laws for the city, setting policies for the city, establishing a framework for the city. That would be my role. And so I want to let everyone know on this call, and anyone who will view this later, that retaliation is not my motivation. Not at all. My motivation is my passion for Mount Vernon. My motivation is my passion for justice, to see wrongs made right, whether it's injustice against the person, whether it's injustice against the community. That is my desire. In fact, it is more than my desire. Quite frankly, it's my purpose. My purpose is to serve the people here. That is my purpose. And as I've said before, you've heard it, I have a plan to get it done. And there are so many issues, but I could not enter into the race without identifying some that I would like to work on. Some issues that I believe I have a plan. And some candidates, they'll tell you that they really don't have a platform. And quite honestly, I was floored when I heard that, because then I had to ask myself, well, why are you running? If you don't have a platform, If you're not a solutions-oriented person, then why, with all of the challenges that Mount Vernon faces, why would one be running? And so I want to let everyone know that I'm going to be transparent. I was transparent when I worked in City Hall, whether it was in the planning department or the clerk's office, and I will continue to be transparent. And so I have a platform of 5 issues that I want to address in Mount Vernon. And I've said it before during my announcement: quality of life. Blight attracts crime. Blight attracts violence. And so let us clean up Mount Vernon. Let us, there's streets that are filled with litter at times. You can see people sometimes walk in front of their own homes and litter. Instead of walking into their home and placing the trash in the trash can, they would rather litter on the curb. And so what we need to do is we need to educate people, to let them know that, we need to clean Mount Vernon. We need to plant trees. We need to plant flowers. These efforts will beautify Mount Vernon all throughout the city. And I believe in also planting community gardens. I've said that before. In addition, we need to complete our comprehensive plan. We have a plan that has been in draft form since 2011. It has not been adopted. And how can we move Mount Vernon forward without the framework necessary to do so? And that framework is the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan sets forth the physical, the social, the economic development of Mount Vernon. How are we going to move forward? How are we going to lift the city up out of decline? Yes. We need a comprehensive plan that's going to establish the framework for us to do that. And so what I want to do is I want to advocate for us to finish it. I want the community to join in, because it's not just about elected officials and city officials determining what's going to be in that plan, but it's about the people coming together. It's about renters, homeowners, business owners, community activists, everyone who is a stakeholder in Mount Vernon coming together to set forth this framework for our future.
All right, guys, and that was a beautiful clip. And that person who was speaking was actually Miss Lauren Carter, Democrat for Mount Vernon City Council. And that clip that you just heard was from her virtual fundraiser that was held on December 7th. And if you guys are just tuning in, she laid out some of her platform issues that I'll just reshare and restate for you guys. So her main issues for the city of Mount Vernon is quality of life, to have a clean city, to educate the people, to be one with nature and plant more trees, more flowers, have community gardens, and to actually adopt a complete comprehensive plan. And actually the city had one since 2011, and it has not been adopted. It has not been completed. So one of her missions is to actually complete that and to implement that and to set forth physical and social interactions and committed to the community and making the community a whole. So right now we have her website up. So to learn more information, you could go to laurenforcitycouncil.com and check her page out. And don't forget to donate and volunteer.
Wow, Jessie, I love what she's about. I love the fact that she definitely cares for the city the way she does. And every time we speak with her, she keeps saying it's the little things. It's the little things that, start this whole avalanche of doing great things. I was actually listening to Podbean's Wellness Week, and one of the things that they were talking about is the power of nature. So when I heard her talk about that, I was like, yes, it does work. And for us, sometimes when we're stressed out and so on, all we have to do is to just maybe sit and look out at the trees or something natural, and it just has a tendency to calm us all the way.
Yes, we actually talked about that last week with the psychologist.
Dr. Bell, yes, you're right. She did, didn't she? Awesome stuff. Wow. Thank you so much for that. And of course, you'll be hearing more from her as time goes by in our Spotlight feature. And we have with us today the Wilsons. We had to have them today, and I'll tell you who they are in a minute. They were on Let's Talk Relationships on Monday, Jesse. And the topic was Christmas lockdown rules. But by the viewers' comments, they were a crowd favorite. It was a couples virtual roundtable, and they were just so poised and relaxed, and they had some great advice. Welcome to Minister Damien and Latoya Wilson. Good morning. Oh, wow. It seems as if they fell off the call. I know they're going to be trying to log back in, but I'm not sure we can show those 10 rules. We can't show those 10 rules. It's a morning show. And it's not a relationship. We can't show it. But let me say this. I love how LTR is actually injecting different things together. Remember, we started off in the pandemic by saying that research has shown that the pandemic has caused rifts in couples.
Yep.
Yeah, the divorce rate actually went through the roof during this. So when I realized LTR is doing all this, yes, and we give thanks. I think they are back on. And
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I know we had a few hiccups, but you are here and we are so thankful. Absolutely. How are you this morning?
Good. And you?
We're good. All right. So tell us about your experience on the relationship show on Monday night.
It was good. Conversation was good, was rich. Good pointers. It was an interesting time. I enjoyed.
Awesome. Minister Damien, what was it like for you?
It was natural. It was somewhat refreshing and challenging because we didn't know that the question section was something like you dare to prove to you that,
I see Latoya laughing. Thank you so much for that, Minister Latoya, why are you laughing?
Yeah, there were questions that were new, tricky, but fun.
Okay, awesome. Tell us, because I know that the Wilsons, ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsons they are the founders of Josiah Speaks, a very powerful movement, and I know we're going to have them back on again to talk about that. But I know you interact with a lot of couples in what it is that you do. What are some of the challenges that you find couples face during the pandemic? What are some of the challenges you've come across, if any?
One of the challenges that couples are having is financially, where either one spouse is working or the other not working. And, when there's no money, there is always some challenges. And that's one of the big challenges. And also where you have couples who would work, let's say both partners work, and now they have to be at home working from home. And just imagine the space is not big enough and you're just all in each other's face constantly. Because of the lack of communication and the constant being in each other's face sometimes can cause tension in that space. So that those are some of the challenges. So now that here in the States, we are kind of a little bit opening up, it's a little bit better for more couples. But before it was, you know,
kind of crazy, right? Wow. Can you tell us where in the US you're located?
We're in Florida.
You're in
Fort
Florida.
Lauderdale.
So shout out to all those who are listening and watching from Florida this morning. Big up to you all. Now that the season has changed in terms of Christmas, I want to ask you guys as a couple, and Minister Damien, I can start with you. What would you suggest couples do to kind of bring it home for the holidays? I know we know it's been like a rough year, but how would you say that they should show more love, be more, apply more grace to the season that is happening right now?
Just the fact that, in spite of the challenges that COVID poses and still does, we have to give God thanks. That's first and foremost, that we have to be grateful in everything that we give thanks. As my wife said, financially, that is one of the major impact. Persons lose jobs. But I believe that it's a time for also bonding, the negative, but also the positives. It's a time for bonding and to get closer in the sense of, knowing your spouse better on a level, and also spending time reflecting and giving God thanks despite of.
Well, for me, where in marriage, there's a foundation, or there ought to be a foundation. And so in this season, we have to remember the foundation. So the first and foremost foundation is Christ, and we have to show love.
Yeah.
And let us not, as couples, worry about the other couple and what the other couple have. Let us focus on the little that we have and make it work. So if you only have rice and chicken, make the rice and chicken the best way you can.
Yes.
If you want to change it from fried chicken to brown stew chicken, go ahead and let it be that. If there's no chicken and it's only mackerel, make the mackerel fancy. Don't worry, because sometimes we worry about what our other friends and couples have, and so we tend to want to raise the bar. Nothing is wrong with raising the bar, but raise it to a level that both couples can afford and can enjoy. It doesn't matter how small. I'm just going to give a quick story. I remember being in Jamaica, and when Damon and I were dating, we vowed that every month we're going to spend quality time together. And I remember there was a season where it was rough. There was no money or little money. And one of our chill out spots was Emancipation Park. We bought one ice cream. I lick, you lick. I lick, you lick till it done. Eat. We both enjoyed the ice cream together.
Yes.
The point is, we took that one ice cream and we enjoyed. And so the value of this lesson is make what you have work for you. Yes. So when we have enough, we enjoy the enough together. When we have little, we enjoy the little. Let's not worry about what we don't have. What we don't have, when the time comes and we get it, we enjoy it together. So whatever it is, enjoy it. And I always say this to other couples, you don't have to have money to have fun. Find something that you both like. Netflix and chill with some banana chips, because we can't afford the popcorn this month.
Yeah.
And together, you won't understand that at that time. But when you get older or you start enjoying marriage more, you will see the value in your relationship. So that's my little point to all of this. Enjoy the liquor.
And to say that when you're faithful in small stuff, when you get the big stuff, you will know how to maximize it. You know how to spend it more. I think COVID has brought us to a point where we have to able to balance. You know, one time we have a big bulk car, big walk car, big this. We are now able to be economically inclined how we do stuff. So it kind of rearrange a lot of stuff how we do it. If we never used to wash up the dishes, we're being safe. We do this, we do that, you know, spend more time doing stuff just for the sake of safety. And I want to say that, you know, when you are contented, then you're able to appreciate a lot of stuff, your kids, or you spend your money, or you spend this.
That's powerful. That is absolutely powerful. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I think a lot of couples, they're not very content. You know, one of the things Paul talks about is in every season, and this is a very educated scholar, he says, I have learned how to be content. And I think that's one of the top lessons for 2020, especially for couples who are worried about Christmas tree, gifts under the tree. Listen, you're alive, you're healthy.
Yes, be thankful.
Yeah. Of course. And to close out this segment, we have for you a Christmas quiz. Are you guys up for that? Sure. Taya laughs, you know, because when she laughs, she's like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Okay, let's see.
All right. So, question number one. Jesse, you want to get question number one?
Yeah, okay. You guys ready for this?
Yes, we are.
Okay. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me blank.
Complete the lyrics.
A partridge in a pear tree?
Try again.
No clue. I'm sorry. I have no clue.
You don't know
Christmas?
You want to go through
it? Christmas, my true love sent to me. Okay.
Two turtle doves?
No.
In the song, but not quite. We're at number 5. So 2 turtle doves is all the way up at 2.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can hum the tune. Na 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 na.
Three Frenches.
Remember, we had 5. You said
number 5.
I'm trying to remember the song.
All right, let me give you a clue. If you hold up 5 fingers, think about your wedding finger.
Oh, ring.
5 golden rings.
All right, Marsha.
All right. Jesse, next question.
All right, Pastor Damien, you might redeem yourselves with this one. You should know this one. Okay. How many wise men were there according to the Bible?
3 wise men.
Okay. Yes. All right. And last one, the 2 of you together. Who stole Christmas?
This is an actual TV show, Joe.
Yeah, it's like a TV show, things like some movies.
Kevin?
You're thinking of Home Alone, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay,
it's also, yeah.
I'll give you that hit. It's an animated TV show, TV movie.
Oh, Grinch. I think it's Grinch or something.
Yes! All right, so I have a bonus question for you guys because you didn't get number 1. So let's see if you can actually get 3. So the bonus questions is, where was the star located when Jesus was born?
Oh.
It's actually a trick question.
Yeah.
Stars can only be one place.
In the sky.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, guys. Listen, Viewers, you are watching. Oh my gosh, the Wilsons are here with us this morning, Minister Damien and Latoya Wilson. And we want to thank you guys so much for being with us. You can choose to stay with us if you'd like to, or if you have to go, we completely understand. But thank you so much for being with us this morning. God bless you, and we're looking forward to having you again, and of course to support you in whatever it is you're doing. Quickly, before you leave, is there anything that you guys are planning this Christmas?
Yes. So in a couple weeks, on the 27th, we'll be having a night of worship in collaboration with a couple of ministers. And this is for Josiah Speaks Hope. We're ending the year. So we have a couple of couples and families who have had loss in the pandemic. And so what we want to do is just to bring encouragement, bring hope, just to let them know that, hey, we are here. We can't be directly with you this year, but we're going to share time of encouragement. So on the 27th at 4 p.m., we'll be having a night of worship, virtual night of worship.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. How can they connect with this event?
They can look us up on Facebook at Josiah Speaks Hope, on Instagram, Josiah Speaks Hope, and they can WhatsApp me on 786-704-3550.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we know that persons will definitely be joining in, guys, no matter where you are across the world. Support this Christmas. God bless you all. Take care. And have a wonderful weekend.
Be safe.
Thank you.
All right. So, Jessie, education is critical.
Yes.
So the intention of our education segment is to empower our listeners through interviews, information, and mindset, Black wellness, college life, and community support. Right? So let's get into that segment right now. So what is wealth mindset? A wealth mindset is a set of beliefs, habits, and behaviors that separates the wealthy from the rest. A wealth mindset will guide you into making the most of the money you have, right, Jessie?
Yep. Saving, investing.
Yes. And so we are going to look at holiday on a budget. Talk to us, Jessie. Holidays on a budget. How important is that?
It is important. And kind of like mimics what the Wilsons just said, is to really, it's not about the money or how much money that you have or the types of gifts that you have. It's really just staying within your bracket and knowing that it's okay this year, or any year for that matter, if you can only do one present or maybe two. You know, it's not the price of the present, it's the fact that you're giving to that loved one that actually, needs it, or that love, or like they said, that quality time. So your present might not actually, if you can't afford a present this year, if you could send an e-card, just email and they open it up and it makes their day, or like a gift card that they could open up. And I know sometimes like on Amazon, you could like send it to a certain day, like on Christmas Day. So you can do that as well. And that is absolutely one thing that I have done in the past. Instead of buying Christmas cards or buying, any types of cards, just emailing it out. Also, a lot of deals that stores have, sometimes people may or may not know this, is that sometimes after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, some of the sales are still going on. And then sometimes if you're really in a pinch, if you wait kind of like last minute, it's bad to wait last minute. But sometimes if you wait last minute, they'll like do an extra like random sale because they know a whole bunch of people are still buying gifts and they may have waited. So that is one thing. And also, if you simply just go on Google and just do like coupons to whatever store that you're looking at, it'll be right up there. And sometimes the stores don't even have it on the website, but Google would, find coupons.
Definitely. And of course, Thanksgiving just ended just to add to what you're saying and the whole Black Friday thing, I always tell people, you know, every time you turn around in the US, there is a holiday, and on holidays, there are drastic sales. If you move out of, I don't have money, into, I have a little bit of money. So I want to say, if you do have some amount of money that you want to spend, begin with a list of holiday expenses, right? It doesn't have to be expensive, but it's something that you want to carefully think about, and then do a quick search as to where you can find the most for your buck, or the least. And I found this really cool, well, there are several websites that have really discounted items, Jesse, like Groupon, Retail Me Not, you know, places like those. Aside from Amazon, there's Shopping On, just saying, you know, and then there's our discount code where you can get even greater discounts.
WWMJ, dropping that.
Sure. So that's something to think about. Begin with a list of expenses and how much it is that you want to spend. I think we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
We're great.
I have a question. I know that it's like a culture or something, or if it's a habit or a practice or whatever it is, that when a holiday comes around, especially Christmas, the top of mind thing is shopping. I wonder where that culture came from and why is it so important? Why are we even talking about shopping? Like, why is that so important? Why is shopping it? Why is it even a consideration? Who says we have to shop because it's a holiday?
Exactly.
That's a very good question.
You know, I think it actually plays into that whole, way back when, but I think it plays into like the whole marketing thing. I have to do more research on it, but I feel like it was more companies that wanted to sell their products around this time of year. And when like commercials were like a big thing and TV was like, you know, becoming a thing, you know, even radio, I think it was like their boost, and it just became like a generational like culture thing. But I think at the end of it, it really was just helping businesses, you know, thrive.
So is it that it became more commercial, and so we just lose, because I can see the value in offering discounts, and so I see it as a compliment to what should already be some kind of meaningful observance of a particular issue or thing, in this case Christmas, but we have gotten so locked into the shopping that I don't know that we remember everything else. And then that starts, I believe, changing our mindset. And as you're talking about wealth mindset, you know, it starts altering how we think. So we start thinking we don't have, and this is something that always gets me too, because someone is broke, the focus of, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I don't have, and we completely forget what we do have and the value in what we do have. One of the most valuable things is human resource. And sometimes we don't need money for the things we need. We're still focusing on, I don't have the money to get it, when we don't necessarily need money to get it. Because if you think of, for example, if I'm going to go to, let's say I'm going to get a Christmas tree. I want to buy a Christmas tree, but I don't have the money. If I really sit down and think about it, why do I need a Christmas tree? Is it that I want my house to smell a particular way? Is it that I need something to look at while we drink hot cocoa? Is it that I need something with lights inside of my room and inside of the living room? And when you break it down, okay, so let's say I want to smell the green. Okay, so is the Christmas tree the only thing that can give me that? Is there another way for me to get to that? Is it better for me to just go outside and look at the natural, you know, environment? So it's breaking it down. Like, I need this thing because one of the things I had to learn is I used to, like, if I'm hungry, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need some money to buy some food. How does that make sense? If I'm hungry, I need food.
Yeah.
Why is it when we have a need, money becomes the bridge to that need? For what reason? Why is money the channel for the need? Right? As opposed to just, I need this. I need to feel love at Christmas. I don't need a tree in my home to feel love. Maybe I just need to go directly to someone who can hug me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think, I think we make money the bridge, the channel to our solutions, when we don't necessarily need money. Our money is not the only currency or the only channel or the only bridge that can take us to that outcome that we seek. So I think what we really should focus on is, what is the outcome that I want? What do I really want? And break it all the way down to the core of it, and then focus on getting that. That is something I had to learn myself, you know, but it's something I think we all do. And that's why sometimes we get the money and we buy all the things we need, but we still don't find the happiness. And also, I'm going to say this before I go. A lot of us are saying, oh, I want this, and we're praying, and I want this, and I'm not getting it. Sometimes what we're praying for is the bridge, not the thing. So it's like there's a conflict. There's a conflict because our subconscious is focusing on, for example, I want to feel happy this Christmas. I want to feel love. I want to have someone holding me. But in my mind, I'm thinking I need to set up for Christmas. So there's a conflict between my conscious and my subconscious.
Yeah.
So my conscious is saying, I need to go buy these things and I don't have the money. My subconscious is saying, oh, but you just need to get people. So sometimes when we don't get what we think we desire, we have to go back and check ourselves. It's not that it's not available to us. It's that there's a conflict in our desires. And so it's like the universe is giving you what you really want, but you're not seeing it because you believe there's a channel to you getting it, instead of just asking directly, this is what I want. I want to be loved. I want to be hugged. I want to have affection. I want to have people around me that make me feel happy. I want to have food to eat, and I want to have these different types of food to eat. Be specific. Instead of asking for the channel through which to get something, ask for the thing that you want, the actual thing that you want, because we really don't need money to thrive.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, money is something you're supposed to give, spend, to get the resource that is needed. Money cannot be hoarded and still have value. It's a means of exchange, and it's not the only one.
Exactly.
That's all I wanted to. Yes.
That's
thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, thank you, DJ
That was
Kelly.
such a fun interview. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. And that's true. And we're talking about the wealth mindset. Really and truly, is it all about the money?
Yep. And you know, Marsha, when that caller tuned in and said that, it just made me think, well, of a lot of things. But one, if money was such a big thing, and if money truly equaled happiness per se,
yes,
celebrities would not be depressed. They would not have addictions. They would not go through depression. They would not go through what every other human, because they have the money.
True.
But people forget that they're human. So money isn't the end all be all. And a lot of them are now coming out to say that.
May I say something?
Mm-hmm.
The people who are wealthy are the people who spend money. The people who live in poverty are people who hoard money.
Yeah.
See, sometimes we forget the resource and the benefit that comes through. For example, I remember in 2015, I learned something. And for example, when I get bills, I don't get bills. I get letters of offers, right? And since 2015, I don't see bills. They're not bills. They're letters of offers. And I remember sitting in my room once saying to myself, what if I had to pay for electricity by myself? What if I was the only one who needed electricity? Everyone else decided I don't need it anymore, but I need it. How much would that cost me? I probably couldn't afford it, because to pay for the service is so much that I just for the people to do it, to fit it, set it up, to run it for just one person. Just imagine how much they would have to charge one person, right?
Wow.
So the fact that so many persons, they're able to galvanize so many persons to desire this, I am able to get this luxury at a lesser cost. So I don't focus on the cost. I focus on, do I want to live without electricity? You see, inadvertently we are making decisions based on what we truly, truly want. So someone may come to you and say, oh, I want something that you have, or I want to buy this, or I want to do this. If they don't invest in it, it's not really something they want. What they really should do is show up to you and say, can I have this, please? I really like it. Could you gift it to me? Be honest. You may be shocked to know somebody may just decide, okay, you can have it. But it's we have to get to a place of truth, owning our truth before we can even attract wealth, because that's how wealth is attracted. First of all, you cannot attract your blessings if you're not in authenticity. Because remember, the reward is already out there for you. Every person that was created with at least one talent, one, and the reward is sure. The Bible tells us, right? So we don't get to it, however, because we are so focused on receiving, and we don't want to let go of anything we have. And guess what happened? The only way to get to the next level is to give away all you have.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing.
It is, and the Bible does say for a lot of if you are looking for financial increase, to actually sow and put that money into, you know, what you want, and eventually you will reap it. And it may not may not even be more money right away. It may be an opportunity, you know, that will eventually lead to other opportunities.
And again, why should it be more money? Exactly. And why should it be more money? Money is not why we work, is it? Money is not why we're going to get rich. And that's something I had to learn again. I had to learn that because I'm a serial entrepreneur. And it took me some time to understand. When I was investing, I'm like, I remember in the early stages with my poverty mindset, it was like, why am I not making enough money? Why am I not making enough money? But when I really got to an elevated mindset and I realized, hold on, but I am winning. I'm getting all these awards. People are recognizing my work. People are being impacted by my work. Isn't that what I really want? Why I do what I do? That is what I really want. So a lot, you see, my mouth may be saying I need money, but my heart needs healing, empowerment of people. And guess what happened? It's not what my mouth says that's going to happen or the results I'm going to get. It's what my mind says. That's what I'm going to get. It's what my thoughts want, desire. It's what I believe that's going to happen, right? And so if you believe money is it, and if you really, truly, that's the thing that's going to satisfy you, I promise you, you're going to connect that money to purpose. I believe that. And I'm not trying to take over your show. I just found it so interesting after the conversation. And I just felt like to say this because I think it's important. And I really try not to give people, you know, like if you're not sitting in front of me and said, sign a paper and said, I want you to coach me, I try to stay away from it. But I just felt led to say this because I think we get it so very, very wrong. You know, we ask for one thing, but our heart is saying something. I believe, based on who I know God to be, each individual who is wealthy, who's a billionaire, whatever it is, their purpose is connected to that money, or they wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
You see, it's the eyes we see it through. We see it and say, oh my God, they're so rich. Oh my God, they're so that. You don't know the pain of that money. And I would know because I've experienced success I've had 8 businesses and everyone hit success. I've never been afraid of failure. I've always been terrified of success. There are some responsibilities and accountabilities. And let me tell you something, a lot of people who aren't wealthy, it's not because we can't be. It's because deep down inside, we know that we don't want to change our happy life, right? Yeah. We want to hang on to this thing that we treasure, right? Because we know that once all these responsibilities and accountabilities and all these demands start happening, we don't want it. As a matter of fact, we reject it. And in so doing, reject the money that we so crave. So great program. And we really need to think about it. This money talk, we have this, we really need to check our relationship with the conversation around money. That's what I'll say. But thank you for having me on.
You're so welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on, DJ Kelly. Something to think about for Christmas, right, Jessie?
It is. It actually made me think about how I even got, I don't know if our listeners even know how I got from how they found me to be on UME Radio. That's a whole other story. but I don't know if you want to talk, if we have time, maybe some other day.
Yes, please tell us the story.
You want to know? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try to make it quick. But I was part of this marketing business, still am, on Facebook. You could go to bossupwithjess.com. I'm just gonna plug that in there. But I was on this marketing business, and I was doing, different types of posts, really just motivating, positive posts. And also video. And a guy by the name of Keith, he messaged me to be a friend, and I'm thinking that he wanted to be interested in the business and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, here's my info, you could check out my website, yada yada. And he just then kept scrolling my page, and he was like, you have a really great voice, would you want to be part of a radio show? And I was just like, hold up, because this was during a time where in 3 months, guys, no joke, I got accepted into a program for school that I didn't have any money saved up for. So this marketing business was my main stream of income, still is. Didn't have a place to live, never have done radio my entire life. But when he told me the message and the purpose and what Weekends was all about, I'm just like, there's no other person but God to put 2 and 2 together, to find me, little me, on Facebook from and it just shows from what the caller says. If your purpose is seen through people, it's not about any money. It's what you're delivering to people and that message and how you deliver it to people. And it's that connection. And I actually did pray multiple times and said, God, I don't care what I do in this world. I don't care about the money. And people look at me crazy. Family members look at me crazy. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't care about money. I could have 50K, I could have 100K a year. But my mission is to inspire and motivate and help people. And if I'm doing that in anything I do, I'm blessed.
Yeah. Wow. That's important. Talk about priorities. And I'm happy we had this discussion, because I think we definitely need to reevaluate how wealth comes to us. I can also share a quick, this is Christmas, so it's about sharing testimonies anyway. And I remember being in corporate for over 5 years, working as a banker, also racking up awards, and I was extremely unhappy. I was getting perks, and there was what we call profit sharing at the end of the year. So that's like $100,000 along with my regular salary. Yeah. So that was, you'd think that, okay, she's good. I was extremely unhappy because I was outside of purpose. So, after the Lord had to yank me out of that situation. And now I'm loving what I do, doing what I love. And I have seen the grace of God in this season of my life more than any other season. Even before UMERADIO, I remember saying to myself one day, I wish I could travel first class to somewhere, anywhere. And I was traveling, and so many things went wrong with my travel, and they just decided to award me a first class ticket.
Wow.
Just like that. And I got all the perks of being in first class just because there was a simple delay, and also I remember wanting to drive in a Jaguar car. And I was like, well, what did it feel like to drive in a Jag? And lo and behold, when I came off at the same airport where I got the first class ticket, there was a Jaguar there to pick me up. I was like, God, are you serious? So saying it to say that, one, God loves us, but it's also too has to do with our mindset, and how we think about things and how we reason things. Because the truth is, the Bible does says that he's a good father, and he will not give us a scorpion for a fish, and his thoughts towards us are greater than the thoughts we have for ourselves. So if you can think the best thought about yourself, he's going to give you something even more superb. So I still feel like I'm waiting, because there's so much more, in terms of my mindset. And I know that once, and it's a learning process. Let's just put that out there, Jessie.
It's not easy.
When you are in a culture where you learn certain things, to unlearn that and relearn it is a whole other process.
Yep. Especially when you're probably the first person in your family that's taking on this mindset, and you don't you're the only one that sees it. No one else sees it but you. But it's only you that's given that gift to see it. So you got to push through and be like, I'm gonna get some hate. People not gonna understand, but it's coming,
Exactly.
Yeah. If I may say something again, like Marsha, what you're saying, you see, sometimes we look at persons who are doing certain things to attract money, and we sometimes criticize them. And we think it's as simple as a criticism. It isn't. It's a conflict of purpose. You see, each person, everywhere they are, no matter what they're doing, the Cardi B's of this world, God created and is still in control of. Right? So you see, he knows who he has generating money. Anyone can walk down the street and generate money. It is so simple and easy. You see, if you want to live in abundance, you have to just do it. You have to just do it. I have sat sometimes and I'll just think something. It just flashes across my mind. And then it happens. And then it happens. And it makes me realize that, hold on, if I'm talking to God about something and I believe I'm not getting it, I've got to check me. I have to check myself. Do you really want it? Because wanting it means you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it, right? The people who are wealthy are the people who are doing whatever it takes. And you don't want to know what the whatever is. Yeah? So we're all choosing the lives we have. I'm an entrepreneur. And let me explain what that is. It means I am the kind of person I just invest. I'm an investor. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care. I cannot keep money, right? I have to invest it because entrepreneurship that's what I was created for. Success, to help people achieve success. That's what I was created for. So I'm always investing. I'm always, and I meet a lot of people who say they want to do something. And that's all it is. They believe they say they want to do something, but they're exactly where they are doing exactly what they want to do. I learned something recently from Steve Harvey. I never looked at it that way before. I knew about mercy. I knew about grace in that, to the extent that Christ died for us to have grace, but I never really explored it further. But I knew about mercy and I knew about blessings. And I was listening to Steve Harvey because these are some of the things I do every single day. And he was talking about grace and what it was. And so I started pursuing a deeper understanding of this grace thing. And then I realized, because you see, I had this concept that I had to work to generate an income in order to secure my future and to be safe and to make sure I have a home and to make sure everything's well. How wrong am I? And I know I'm wrong because of my life. I'm a miracle child, right? You said it a while ago too, Jesse. We're there together. Miracle child. I do not have a clue how I am where I am doing what I do. I just get up every single day and I do what I love. That's it. I don't know. I don't even handle money in my business. Someone else does that. I don't want to know. The only thing I want to do is connect with the people who are ready and fulfill purpose and do the will of God. That grace thing is why we're here, unmerited.
Yeah.
And we stand in our own way when we convince ourselves that we're doing something for something to happen. You know, one of the things my millionaire friends taught me, I remember thinking, man, I remember the first millionaire client I had, I'm thinking, I can't serve him. Like I can't, I don't have the equipment. This is all I'm thinking. I don't have the kind of equipment he's gonna need. I don't have the this he's gonna need. I don't have the that he's gonna need. Remember, nobody has asked me anything yet. I am in my own way already. I remember the first time I met him, he said, do you want to be a millionaire? I said, yes. He said, how many millionaires do you know? I said, none. He said, no, that's not true. Where do you work? What do you do? You're a millionaire. I'm like, huh? I've been praying to be one. And he's like, you already are. That's like, you need to pray for more than that. Don't you get $1 million a year? In fact, you get 2 million a year. So what is that? You see, it's called gratitude. It's called gratitude and recognizing that if someone comes into your life, God sent them there.
Yeah.
The greatest resource is human resource. I don't even know why I'm having this conversation because I don't usually come on here. But I feel this overflowing of emotions to say this, when we miss opportunities because we refuse to give, we just want to receive. And when he said that to me, it changed my perspective. He's still my friend. He's still in my circle. And one of the things I learned was that there are two of the greatest investments I could make is therapy and coaching. For not education, and I'm not saying education is a bad investment, but I'm saying not education, right? And another best investment is to get into the network of wealthy minds. Wealthy minds, not pockets, minds.
Yeah.
Do you know who really know God? Those rich people that will look at and think they don't know God. You cannot be wealthy without knowing God. And I'll tell you this, when I sat and watched their practices, they practice more faith than the church. They don't worry about their money like that. They do the things. They make the huge investments. They take all the risks. It's amazing. The risks they take make my head hurt. I'm like, you're really going to use all that money? Sometimes they put in the entire thing. And guess what? Those are the ones that bring the biggest rewards. Because until you give everything, you have not yet demonstrated that you really want this. And grace is why we're here. Grace is why we have food. Grace is why we have homes. Grace is why we have health. It isn't our money. It's not because you worked. Because if that was the case, then I couldn't be here. Miracle child.
Yeah.
Complete
That's some deep insight. I
miracle
love it.
child. And when I tell you I am blessed, I can't even ask God for anything. Like, honestly, I don't ask him for anything. A couple days ago, I wake up and in the back of my mind is, I am rich. And I'm like, where did this come from? Yeah, I cannot even ask for anything. I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled. I don't know how it is that God gave me so much grace. So that's all I had to say.
No problem. And thank you so much for sharing. I really love this energy this morning, this wealth mindset and the view, like another view of wealth for the holidays.
Yeah.
More than money. More than money. Grace. That was refreshing. Don't you think, Jessie?
That really, really was. It was powerful. And I felt like something that needed to be said. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just felt, I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit, but it just felt like something that needed to be said and talked about.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. Woo. All right. So we're going to listen to a song at this moment. What's the name of the song, Jessie?
It's called Sea of Victory.
Yes, Sea of Victory. All right. So while we are prepping for that particular song, we want to ask our viewers this morning, what's your wealth mindset for Christmas? Is money really everything for Christmas? We want to hear from you. We want to know what it is that you're thinking about holiday shopping on a budget, because that's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
definitely.
So let us know in the comments below. And if you guys are liking this whole broadcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share everywhere. Share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with the guy at the grocery store.
Yes, definitely. We want to know what's happening on your side. Is that song ready?
I don't know. DJ Kelly, is it up?
Here we go.
All right, guys, I love that song. How about you, Marsha? Guys, so I want you guys to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys like that song. Let me know if you guys like the discussion on wealth and mindset, guys, because I know that was super, super powerful and there was a lot of juicy information there.
Definitely, Jessie. We should make it a part of our top 5.
We should. Yeah. All right, maybe it'll be on my own next week so I can win. So.
It's gonna be on mine, girl. Or maybe we could do 2 different versions. Who knows? Let's see which version goes best.
True. Yep, that's true.
Definitely. So now we are getting into one of my favorite segments, and it is college life. Jessie, over to you.
All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about stress and ending the year and dealing with it. So if you guys don't know, if you guys are new to listening to Weekends with Marsha, J, and Jessie, I am actually a student, technically a college student, kind of. So my program is actually like a fellowship, and I am learning to be an orthoptist. Hey guys. I'm learning to be an orthoptist, which is kind of like a physician assistant or nurse practitioner, but specifically for the eye. And give me one moment, guys. So it has been a little difficult and a little tricky this week because the patients that I saw, it wasn't even really the patients, it was more their parents. I work in the peds clinic. Hey, Marsha.
Hey.
I was just telling everyone that the stress was not really because of the patients themselves too much that I saw, because I work in the peds clinic, but it really started out this week.
Break that down, peds clinic?
Yes. So as an orthoptist, most of them work in pediatrics.
Oh, children.
Children's, yep. So a lot of them, we do have adults there, but a lot of them are pediatrics dealing with like if their eyes, drift out or cross in that muscle alignment. So that's really what I'm learning about. But this week it started off with a dad who was waiting like 15 minutes in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we called his son over, he made like a big huff and puff about it. Like, I don't think that I should be waiting this long. I don't like this waiting room and And I'm just like, sir, you have to be professional and everything like that. And we're like, sorry about the wait. But it was literally, Marsha, was 15 minutes. Like, you're at a doctor's office. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, 15 minutes is nothing,
True.
But I really had to take that away and not have that stress get to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, we had an email from my apartment complex saying that someone in the apartment complex had C19. Did not let us know which floor, and I'm on the top floor. Not that it really mattered, but I would just like to know where this person was. Like, just living, just so I can feel a little bit safe at home.
Yeah.
So that was going on. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then I was behind in school. So this really talks about how to deal with stress, because it was a really stressful week for me. So the first thing is eating right and exercising and trying to get plenty of sleep, which, Marsha, I do have to say, even though this is a tip that I'm giving everyone, the sleep factor, it's slim to none. It's slim to none right now. Talking to others, talk to your friends and family. That actually has been really helpful. I have been talking to a lot of my close friends and family to help me with that. And also just taking a break. Sometimes taking a break from studying, shutting down the computer, throwing away the notes, like doing everything, and just being in that moment. And what I did, Marsha, I don't know if you have our listeners know about this, but I love coloring. I am a creative.
Really?
I am a creative. I'm a creative in writing. Like, I write poetry and stuff like that, but I cannot draw for the life of me. I have it in my head, but I can't put it down on paper. So I got an adult coloring book and I have colored pencils. And
yes.
for me to de-stress, I went down, had a little carpet, went down on my carpet, got my coloring book, and just like I was 5, just started coloring and just blasting music. And that really, really calmed me down.
Wow. I guess we all need something, our thing that we do.
Yeah, something. I mean, I have a couple of things, but that was one that was like right handy. So yeah, that is also really, and also keep a diary, write down your day. It really can help. I have every single year, Marsha, every year I tell myself, and I promise God to say I'm going to document every blessing and for every single day for the whole year. I get to like the second week of January and then I say, you know what, I can't do this. Maybe a once a week for me is good enough, you know, God. And then it just vanishes. So yeah, I don't know about that, but I know that whenever I do write, it's a really great stress relief. So I really want our listeners to also take part of that.
Yeah, and just for those who are listening, especially those who are in college and just using weekends as a source of relaxation, I just want to say that we we definitely understand. I mean, it's been a minute since I graduated, but according to Focus, people generally attend community college to improve their skills or gain new skills. So I'm just going to read something real quick. One of your classmates tells you that they aren't sure what career they want to pursue, and you advise them, go to the college's career center and talk with their instructors and advisors. Students seeking a degree at a community college generally have 2 choices. One is a career focus and one with a transfer focus. I never knew that, right? To maintain focus, successful students find the right time of day when they're most energized to complete schoolwork, and engaged students are most likely to be turned in, soak up everything in that the class has to offer. And this does not come without stress, because I know that we're talking about stress. And so in that context, let's talk about having advisors. Jesse, because you shared with us a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. And it's the end of the year. People can't wait for school to close, for internships to close, so they can just sit back. Do you have an advisor, and how have they helped you in trying to navigate the closing out of the school year?
So actually, my advisor is actually the program director of the program. She is really great at just being that extra voice, especially if you're like not understanding a subject or something like that. And she's the one that teaches everything. So you could go to her and just be like, hey, I can't do this. Or honestly, I know I'm supposed to be in the clinic with the children today, but I need a mental break. Like I cannot, like my mind is not there. And she completely understands that. And it's great to have someone as a support team, you know, that's really great. And also a really great person is my mom. She's not an advisor and part of like education, you know, because she's not part of the program or anything like that. But she is one person that I have gone to for years, and she would know, I'm going to tear up because she means the world. But she would know, and she would see on my face when I'm getting like overwhelmed. And I would sometimes either pick up the phone and call her, and she just let me rant, and she'll know when I'm in that mode. You know, you don't have that person with you.
They really do.
Yeah, to just like, what do you need? I'm like, I don't need advice right now. I just need to rant and get it off my chest. So she is one of a really great person. I love her so much. And she also gives an advice to me that really helps me a lot. And I want to share with you guys is to not make a mountain out of a molehill.
True.
I know a lot of times when college listeners our college listeners are going through it, and it's Christmas time, grades are coming in, you want to get that last, A for the exam, and you don't want to look at all of your problems and make it into a mountain.
Yeah, because that can happen, Jesse.
Yeah, you want to separate it and just look, okay, A, B, C, check, check, check. And when you look at it separately, it really isn't that much. It's just when you pile it all on yourself and you're like, oh, I can't do it. And that's when extra stress kicks in.
Yeah, and that is why support is extremely necessary. I remember when I started college, I started 2 weeks late. So even though I knew I had an advisor, nobody told me what an advisor was for, you know? And so I just thought they were there to help me choose my classes. And then pretty much I'm on my own for the rest of the school year. And so I remember I had like a 500-page assignment that was due that semester. And that time we were using floppy disks. I don't know if you know what a floppy disk is.
I do know what a floppy disk is.
And I remember just buying a brand new floppy disk, inserting it into the computer because I didn't have a personal computer. So we had a lab, a computer lab, and I put it in. Then out of nowhere, I saw a digital worm come up on the screen. And my entire 500-page assignment just went.
Oh my gosh.
I screamed so hard in the computer lab, Jessie. I was like, where am I gonna? And it was due on that day. I mean, of course, I should have done it, printed it before, probably in pieces.
But still.
But I lost everything. And, you know, half of the stuff that I wrote was on inspiration, aside from research. So even though I got the opportunity and extended time to do it, it was still stressful because half of the things I wrote, I don't remember. It's 500 pages.
Right.
You know, so I definitely understand what it is like to need support during the school year, especially to stay focused in that last leg of the relay to say, hey, I can do this, let's do this. And I understand, definitely. And to all those who are watching, we just want to say that Weekends is here for you. You want to rant and rave, type it in the comments.
Yes.
We hear you. We'll you know, try to give you as much support.
Advice. Yep.
Yeah, we'll try to give you as much support, especially now that everything is virtual. We know that students have been having challenges with the virtual classroom. Even teachers, let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
You know, teachers, especially third world countries like ours, teachers have to be learning how to use apps on their own with limited or no workshops. So it's not just the students that's having an end of year crisis, Jessie. It's also educators.
Yeah, educators, the students, and the parents. I mean, like yesterday I was in the clinic with one of the children, and I'm getting mixed feedback, but depending on the kids' personality, some of them like the virtual because they don't want to deal with other kids, and some of them really miss it, also their age. But we had like a little, I think he was 6-year-old boy, and the mom was just like, they're packing on a whole bunch of stuff on these kids and they're only 6, like they're in kindergarten. Why are they learning like words, like to know, like pronounce a word and like to write it? And then she was talking to me about how they're not really learning how, you know, how the alphabet, and it'll be like A's for, you know, that makes that sound.
Phonics.
They're just doing it by sound. They don't even, like, he's having a hard time knowing what a capital letters and lowercase letters are. And the mom is like, if he sees a lowercase letter that doesn't look like a capital letter, he doesn't know the letter because they're just going by sound. So he has a hard time with like H's because they don't look similar, and like G's if it's like a swirly G. And then I'm just like, what? And she's like, yeah. And then we have computer class on a tablet for a 6-year-old. I'm just like, that's a lot.
And can I just interject here? I'm so happy you brought that up, because in the Jamaican news this week, it said that the government is about to pay out over $1.5 million for remedial classes for students who are still struggling and having a hard time transitioning from face-to-face learning to virtual. So it's really, I know, especially, you know, the pressure is really on for everybody in the education system.
Yeah. It's difficult, and parents becoming homeschool teachers at the same time as you know, working, and kids trying to finish their assignment and being a kid and being a student. but feeling the stress because they're stuck at home, you know?
Yes. And even the matter of sharing devices. Let's talk about that. Parents are working and they have to just kind of pause work to log in and have their child catch a class. You know, those things are still happening. So shout out, I want to give a special shout out to all the organizations that have been helping to put tablets and computers into the hands of children.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely needed, especially during this time. And it's awesome. And I know soon we're gonna have an organization that's been doing that there in Dubai. So we can't wait to have them on to actually talk about what it is that they do and how we can support them as a community. That was an awesome, awesome segment, Bessie.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes. Really, really was.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So now we're on all about helping the community. And if you guys don't know, we have a segment called community support. So the primary intent of community support is to help persons who have put in efforts to participate in the community to make it better by providing them with support, access to local resources. And today our special guest is Mr. Prince Hall, founder of We Believe movement. How are you, Mr. Hall?
I'm fine. How are you,
I'm good.
Sister Jessie? I'm doing very well.
Thank you.
Doing very well.
Thank you so much for coming on our show. It was wonderful meeting you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, can you tell us quickly a little bit about yourself and tell us really what is We Believe movement?
All right. As you know, I'm a gospel artist. I am from Ocherius, St. Anne. I am also a close friend of Marsha. Somebody who I love dearly to my heart. I'm also the founder and the person who has started the We Believe movement. We are a set of young men and women who believe in giving back to our community. That's the base of the We Believe ministry, is giving back to our community.
Awesome, awesome. So what inspired it?
All right. As a young man growing up in Harrisontown, Ocherius, there was something that was always pressed on my heart. There was a gentleman who I know in my community who was living below any human being should be living for, I would say, 20 odd years. And I always, during my time at school, I always talk to my friends and and say, look, I want to help this man.
Yeah.
And leaving school, going to college, after leaving college, I said, well, I want to do an album. Several years after, I said I want to do an album. And the reason why I was pushing to do the album, it wasn't so about me. It was about trying to help this same man. In 2017, we have the We Believe launch album. And from that album launch, we were able to build a house for this same man who we know was living below standard for over 20 years. And I want to say that the main trust of the We Believe is bearing fruits for others. There is no tree that bears fruits for itself. Those trees that bear fruits, you and me eat of those trees. And so it is in nature, so it is in grace. Whatever that God has blessed us with, our singing, whatever gift that we have, is only for one reason, is to bring glory and honor to God.
Yeah, that is so powerful. And Marsha, that wraps up, well, not wraps up, but we're talking about that with wealth mindset. Like, I think it's just a message that everyone really needs to hear today. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the testimonies? I know that you recently helped a man with a large facial tumor.
Right. So we embarked on Leroy, a gentleman who was living with a tumor for over 28 years. Wow. He has this massive tumor on his face. A gentleman by the name of Randy Myers and his wife, they found him. They started the journey, but somehow they couldn't finish it. So we saw him about in June of this year. We met him, and we started this journey of trying to get this tumor removed from his face. It was a long journey because we have to be into Kingston twice per week, back and forward, just to make sure that this operation was a success. And on the 1st of this month, to God be the glory, the surgery was done. And he's now out of the hospital, he's home. And I just want to give God thanks and praise, because each time I think about this, is not about me, my sister, it's about our God, because he's the one who have placed this love in our hearts so we can reach men and women. And even though I'm talking, I'm getting emotional because I know that that's what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to help our fellow men. That's the only reason why we are here. Is to help each other. And the reason why I utmost love this ministry is because it is selfless based. It's selfless. It's all about someone else. It's not about Prince Hall. It's not about Azan. It's not about us. It's about Jesus Christ and bringing people to the core, knowing that it is true love. Christ said, by this shall all men know that you are my disciples. Not by preaching, but by living and showing love. Love is the only thing, my sister, that will bring people to Christ. Only love. Only love.
Yep, and we have a comment from a listener that said, we celebrate you. They also said, this is so inspiring. I want to be a better person. Can you give us some, I had a question in mind that completely left right now, but can you give us some advice or tips for people that want to be a better person, but don't know how to go about that?
All right. The first thing that you have to acknowledge is that you are created by a sovereign and an infinite God. You are created for a purpose, and you have to start by looking within and saying, who am I? Who am I? What is my purpose here on earth? Why do God allow me to be born in this world? And once you start to see yourself as a child of the King, this will inspire you. Whenever you start to look around you, because by looking around you, it will pull you down, because there's so much discouragement, especially now in this time. People are just discouraged and confused. But if you read the word of God and you applied it to your life, and even if you cannot read, you can kneel at your bedside and say, Lord, I want to be a better person. And I am a testimony of that. I used to go about singing on sound system. I used to be one who usually advocate dance and music. I am a product of reading God's word and taking God's word as it says. And I guarantee God is faithful and just, and he will help us to be a better person if we trust in him.
That is powerful. We have another listener question, kind of similar. They said, how did you find it within yourself to be like this? You seem so convicted and positive. How did you get your mind to think like this?
All right. I was brought up in a very poor home, very humble and a poor home. My early molding of my parents, they taught us that every human being is important. Even those who we pass on the street, they are created by God. And there's one thing that keep in my mind. If it was one person that Christ could have come and died for, even if it was one of those persons who are on the street eating out of the garbage bin, Christ would have still come and died for him. So I see each person as my brother. Every person I met, every man and woman, boy, girl, is my brother. And why? Because they were created by the same hand. So they are my brother. That's what keep me, going.
Yeah.
That's what keep me going.
That is super powerful. And I love how you mentioned before with love. And I think people don't realize that it's not about money, it's about giving. And like a lot of people don't know Jesus because they never had love, or they don't know what love is.
Amen.
And it could be a simple like smile. I remember like one time I just did a happy, smile to someone, and this person came up and was like,
Amen.
Thank you so much, because I was really depressed right now and I needed to hear you. And I was just like, I didn't get, nothing. I just smiled and waved.
Amen. Amen.
That was super, super powerful.
Yes.
Amen.
It's a simple thing.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And I think we have a clip about the gentleman that had a tumor post surgery.
Mr. Leroy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have that clip, Mr. Hall? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I have it, but I would have to send it to you.
Let me see if I can pull it up on my end.
Yeah, because it's there.
This interview was done by Zazan.
Yes. Yes.
Let me see if I can play it.
It's on his page.
Everything good? All right, so I'm there. I can't leave I go because I've got people. I'm found. I said, people, a while ago, I come to Leroy. I mean, knock on Leroy door. I see one man in a Leroy house. And people may say to me, say, which man is in a Leroy house? What am I doing in a Leroy house? When I say, maybe a Leroy brother. And I say, what? I don't know that man there. First, I say that man there. And people, I say, if I don't Leroy brother, a big stone of a thing in the house, people. I mean, say, I broke in a Leroy house. I say, people, we don't know brother. But I drive go back to the same spot. Exact same spot. Where back in July, I saw this man. And when I say same spot, the all who remember are right here, so. Right on the palm tree, I'm sure. Palm tree, right on the palm tree, right as people. I saw Leroy right there, so. Like and share and tell people run come here. Because this is the unveiling of what God has done. Amen. Leroy, I kind of move the curtain a little bit because we'll make everybody see you. And you can't take off your hat, man, because everybody see you. And ladies, please. This has a different look. The girls, them charming daddy Leroy. Lord God. People, I go see the boss a while ago. I said, Leroy. He said to me, say, in car. I say, you have no ID? Yeah. So I say, Leroy, a problem, you know? He said, I say, well, you don't know your age. Because you tell everybody, say, you're 62. When you share, man, share. We want people come, everybody to come on so they can see him. one time. I'm going to share before we put it right on the palm. This, this coming like, I know. Man of the moment. And ladies and gentlemen, the man is back in the car. Give me a drum roll. Can I get some thumbs up and some hearts up? Make some noise. Anywhere part you are, dear. Shout hallelujah. Say thank you, Jesus, for this miracle. Because it's nothing shorter than a miracle. Without further delay, I'm going to hand my phone with this camera, with this live to the man of the hour, and he is going to talk to Unos. Here we go. Daddy Leroy, for the first time. God of Christ. I'm here again. Show them, if you come over there, like, draw over there, like, show them all over the face, man. Show them all over the face, man. Lord God. I'm here again. Wake up and pray. Amen. It shows you on surgery. So when you wake up, we have prayer. The spirit of God give you with me, brother. Jesus God. Time. Jesus God. So say, I'm going to give you some stuff here. So. Ask me again. 28, 9, 7, 28, 29 years. Coming down to exactly totally time, but I want them time. So long. Move, because all of them now move. Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of moving on. God. You see? Why? I'm a right that million dollar man here. I can't believe this. Tell me right now, oh God, we can't believe this. Man. Can't believe this. So much years, brother. So much years. Sometimes, Jimmy, I feel for you. You feel for it? Yeah, I love to make up I feel like good for that piece. So weird. Oh my God. Gone, brother. Yeah, man, you're gone, you know, people. Oh God, thank you, Jesus. I'm a true rag away all the while. I seem to come around town, just a kind of shine. Yeah, look for yourself. I'm not going to say no. I feel pleased on this smoke. You're right. Make me sorry with the people. I see the way they must see you. People. Oh no, really right now. Oh, you just really. I mean, I was going today. I'm asked for a van. I want him special love to me. Mask. Mask. Check off, man. That top say, mask, man. Say, see, by the red, I see, by the left, but I was saying, no. They will say, you never know. You never know, say that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. You say, they got fun. Oh, my God. I'm again, man. It's amazing. I really, I'm not feeling no fear, you know. No. I'm going to do stitches them. And I'm going to feel it. You're right. Not alone more. I show the people with the stitches and the I'm going to turn the camera around. So guys, see that? Them both me years, you know. He is no more still. He is no more. Yeah, but not to say it's from here. So see the guys. That's his ears right there. Come all the way along down here. Much more turn from the side. So that's a scar there. All the way up. And come all the way underneath his throat here. One cut, let me can take you up, brother. One cut. Can I show you it? You want to see it? You don't want to see it? It's a guy. Turn on here when the people see a good because see them as normal, the turn out, you have to turn fully like so. Because I show them you like so. Yeah, man, that's straight. Yeah, man. People, this don't look like Leroy, not at all. Not the Leroy with me come know people. I want different man, this who but God. Honestly, man, let
Wow, this is amazing. This
Praise
is
God.
absolutely
Praise the
amazing.
Lord. Praise the
Yes,
Lord.
and Prince Hall, as we wrap up, I see you tearing up every now and again. What is going through your mind as you watch this video?
My sister, just to see a human being who has been ostracized and marginalized by society for almost 30 years. You know, he said that one day he was walking down the street and a group of ladies were coming on the same side he was on. And he said that when they saw him, all of them crossed over on the other side of the road. Marsha, when he told me that, you know, I tell you, man, it break me down because I know this is something that happened to a human being. Not his fault. It was nothing of him doing. He just saw this bump came up, and for us, you know, and I actually empathize with them because they probably just scared because they are seeing somebody with a tumor of that size. But just to see the smile on Leroy's face, it is what tear me up because this is, you know, when I was coming down with him from Kingston, normally the car glass is up. And he said, Prince, I don't want the car glass to be up anymore. I want him down because I want the world.
Up.
Yeah. You know, that, Marsha, that really give me tears of joy. And I just want to encourage us, continue to work as ministers. You know, I know that you are somebody who are heavily involved in this project. And I just want you to know that as we go forward, you are going to be, because I was talking to Azan the other day, and I was saying there are persons who we definitely want to be involved in the ministry going forward. And your name came up, Marsha, and I'm just telling you publicly that we want you to be a part of this ministry as we seek to continue to help those who are in need.
Thank you so much, and super honored to serve. One very last question quickly, because we have our next guest that's already in the room. How can we support We Believe going forward in doing these projects?
All right, so we have several platforms that you can support us with. We have our Zelle. You can go on the page and you will see it. You can also call me at 447-940-876, 447-940. We also have Cash App. We have and all these are on our platform, so you can go there. We have a lot more people who are in need, and we are appealing for persons who have been touched by what we are doing to continue to support us. As I say, it's not about us. It's about who we can reach and who we are trusting in. Because once we are trusting in God, then we'll reach those who are around us. I want to say thank you very much, my dear sisters. Thank you for having me, and may God continue to bless you both. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you so much,
Jesse.
Mr. Hall. I love talking to you, and I hope that you are a guest on another show. We can hear more and more testimonies of how you're just helping so many people.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. God bless you.
God bless you.
Take care.
Take care.
Okay, take care too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and this kind of feels like a champion moment.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead and do something this week.
Awesome.
Whew. All right. So, Champions for the Kingdom, where we celebrate Black creatives and give them or rather amplify their voice to share their gifts with the world. And so we have with us all the way from Canada this morning, Mrs. Felicia Williams-Marson. Good morning, Felicia. How are you? Oh, I think you are on mute. All right, I think
okay.
she's
Hello,
back.
can you hear me?
Hear her.
No. I hear you. Oh, I'm seeing you now. There you are. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How is it over there in Canada this morning?
Good. It's actually
the weather.
It's not a bad day at all. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's 1 degree, but
literally, wow.
But you know, for a day that could have been like -10, I'm happy.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the program. And you're here this morning because we invited you just to help us spread some holiday cheer. But before, I know you're going to sing for us at some point, but before that, just a quick chit chat about your musical journey to this point and why you stick with music. So go ahead and just share with us.
Wow, my musical journey. Wow, that started when I was, I'd say 6 years old. So to not give away my age, it's over 20 something years ago. But yeah, I used to, up to that point, I was doing poetry until one day I sang a song and I'm like, oh, I can sing. And I never looked back, you know, thankfully the Lord revealed to me that that was one of the gifts that he had given to me. And I pretty much dedicated it to God, and I told him, I will use it for your glory and your glory alone. And so I've sang, you know, all over, I'd say Jamaica and the United States and now Canada. And I remember the first time I was presented with the idea to take part in something that had to do with a competition. And I struggled because like, this is not what I got my voice for. So it was really an interesting point in my life, but the Lord had a way of just using, and I remember when I found the verse about that your gift will make room for you, I'm paraphrasing, but the Lord had a way of using the voice that he gave to me to open many doors, to the point where even going to high school, I got a full scholarship to high school simply because one Sabbath I was asked to sing at the church I was going to. I was probably about 11 years old or so, 11, 12 years old. And the pastor was a bit late. So they asked me to sing until he got there. And he came, stood at the door while I was singing. And when his sermon was done, he went to my grandma and said, I want to have the church sponsor Felicia to high school, Seventh-day Adventist high school, because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And just because of that one moment, the Lord used the voice that he gave to me to make room so that my mom would not have had to find the funds for the 5 years I went to high school to send me to high school. And then even in college, you know, where I, you know, went to the US, and the Lord placed a gentleman in my life, and he sponsored the last 2 years of my high school. So when when you read the word of God and you see it literally, you know, fulfilled in your life,
yes.
God is like, he is true to his word. He has literally used the gift that he gave to me to make room for my education and so much more. So that's
awesome.
it in a nutshell.
Yes, thank you. For those of you who are just joining, Felicia is a wife, a mother, a poet, a singer, a songwriter, and she's sharing with us her journey. Felicia, my next question is this. Can you share with us some of those deep moments where you have had to sing and it really brought life to a particular situation?
Well, I can probably draw on two. One of them would be with my father. My father, we didn't like, I didn't grow up with him, so we didn't really have a relationship. However, he passed 3 years ago. Just before he passed, I got the privilege to sing to him, and I don't know, it was an amazing experience because he had cancer, so he was in the hospital, you know, literally dying. And I had that opportunity to use my voice again to be a blessing to him. And then the other one I would draw on is, I don't remember how many years ago. I'm here 4 years now, so I'd say about 4 years ago, or probably 5 years ago. I was going through a rough time, spiritually as well. And I remember I was actually heading to the US to do a concert. And on the bus, I actually had to take the Knutsford to Montego Bay to catch the flight. And on the bus, on the Knutsford Express, I remember just thinking to myself, or probably saying to God, like, can you really reach me? Like, you know, after all I've done, after who I am, like, you know, this sinner, can you reach me? And in that very moment, the Lord gave me that song to comfort me and to bless my heart, to say, yes, I can reach you. I can save you. I can save anybody, right? So those are two of the instances that I would say were very profound for me, where the Lord used music and singing and, you know, that gift of ministry through music to be a blessing to me, and I'd say to my dad as well.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, and that is extremely profound. Now let's talk about the season, because we're going to wrap up in a few. What do you think, especially as a music minister, what's the greatest importance in this season in light of what's happening in the world today and all of that? What would you say is something that we need to zero in and focus
on? In this season, to be honest, I think it's important to be focusing on God. Like, it sounds simple, but you know, when you live your life and you realize that you know, life is not about fluff, it's about the honor and glory of God, and whatever you do should be for the glory of God. So if you find that you've been given if you find that you've been given a gift, then that gift should be used in every sense of the word for the honor and glory of God. And so for those who are under lockdown now, you know, you're not able to go out and intermingle, use the resources that you have to still share with others through your gift, right? So for example, as a singer, you know, I've seen a lot of people lament over, you know, the fact that they're not able to do concerts, and, you know, because of, you know, COVID. What I have found is that the opportunity has been presented to us as music ministers to reach a wider audience, because I probably would not be able to travel to Africa. I probably would not be able to afford it, but my voice can be heard in Africa because of technology. So I think in the season, we just need to focus on, how do I use what God has given me to glorify him in creative ways? Find different ways and use it. Use it. Don't look at what's not happening. Look at how you can make it happen, because the gospel of the kingdom must be shared in all the world.
Thank you so much for that, Felicia. So I'm going to ask you to just bring a little more sunshine to weekend this morning by singing something inspirational for us. And then you're going to tell us if you have anything special going on for Christmas, how can we support you? Where can we contact you? Things like that.
So sing first?
Yes, you can go ahead and sing first.
I have this song that it's very well known. And it's probably my favorite Christmas song. Hopefully my voice will cooperate, but I want to share it with the audience. Let me see if I can get this to cooperate. So let's see. One moment.
Sure. And we just want to thank everybody for listening to Weekends this morning. And, we've shared so much this morning, Jessie.
Yes.
It's amazing. And if you have not had the opportunity to actually visualize some of the things that happens, for instance, with the story of Leroy, you can just take your fingers and walk on over to YouTube. We're there and we're live on camera, and you'll be able to relive this experience each and every week with us. All right. So Felice, are you ready?
It's connecting.
No
I don't
problem.
know why it's taking so long.
So in the meantime, we want to remind you, Jessie, let's tell them what platforms we can be found on.
Yeah, so like we said, we are on YouTube. We are also on UMERadio.com, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Instagram.
Definitely.
And Marsha, for UME Radio, they can register, right? To be a live audience.
Right. So there's a new system that we have implemented, because normally what we would do is to just have you click a Zoom link and you come all the way in. But now we want you to pre-register or register. And once you do that one time, you won't have to do it again. And of course, once we collect like your email and your name, we'll keep you posted and updated with what's going on weekends and all the other awesome shows and the station itself.
My turn. I'm super confidently quietly. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get in here.
Right. So Felicia, let us
to
One second. I don't know what's...
All right. So we're not quite done with.
Sorry. Okay. I'm ready. Some strange things is happening.
All right.
Okay. Oh, holy night, stars are brightly shining. It is the night of a dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the soul felt his word. The thrill of the universe rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is a brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Three thrills of hope in glorious chorus raise me. Let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory, yeah. The more proclaim his power and glory, yeah. The more proclaim. On your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine.
I love it. Girl,
Wow.
you have a range.
Yes.
I love it.
Praise God.
I was absolutely blessed by that rendition. How can we find you? How can we support you? Do you have anything that's happening for Christmas, new music, anything like that?
Officially, I don't have anything happening for Christmas. I am on Facebook. However, unofficially, I believe in spreading the gospel in any way that I can, and Christmas is a wonderful time to do so. And so I will be going live on Facebook. My name is Felicia Williams. I'm on Facebook as Felicia Williams. So you can join me Christmas Day, and I'll share just a couple of, songs to continue with the Christmas spirit. I know a lot of people will be home and probably not happy, right? Because you're probably not able to see your family. You're probably in quarantine. You're probably in lockdown. So join me on Christmas Day. I'm in a different time zone, so I'm going to say 3 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern on Christmas Day. I may move around the time depending on responses, but that's the plan for now. But I do want to just encourage any musician, any singer who's listening, use social media to your advantage. Use it there. It's a tool for us to reach people all over the world. let's use it and let's bring some Christmas cheer. Let's bring some good news to those who are, you know, really going to be going through a hard time this season.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Felicia, for being with us today. And we look forward to having you back at some point in the future. God bless you and your endeavors. And thank you so much for making the time. God bless you. Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right, guys. So right now we have special guest, Mistress Judith Fallon Reed and her company, Jamaica on Ice. I am so excited. Welcome, Miss Reed. Thank you so much onto our show.
I think you're on mute.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Thank you so much. And please just call me Judith or Judy. I'm really not very good with titles.
And I want to first just start off by apologizing because I know you wanted to come on a couple months ago and now you're here, but we still want to say thank you and apologies for not having you on a little bit sooner.
That's fine. All in good time.
Yes, all in perfect timing. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little about me. I'm an author. I've written several books. I write in the genre of Christian and self-help novels, as well as children's books. And I've been a writer pretty much my whole life. I've run the gamut. I'm also a filmmaker. I am the writer and director of 4 award-winning Jamaican gospel films, 3 of which were produced with Jamaica Youth for Christ. And I also do short films. And what else? So I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a poet, and a part of the Jamaican Schools Poet Tour. So each year we go down to Jamaica with Malachi Smith and we do poetry around the island. And I am a speaker and a trainer, writer, director, actress. Oh, that's about it. Let's go there.
Wow, you just do it all.
And I'm in media as well. I host a TV show, and I host radio shows.
Nice, that is awesome. So for one of the things, can you tell us a little bit about Jamaica on Ice and why Antarctica? I mean, there's 2 different temperatures, 2 different worlds. How did that come about?
Well, so several years ago, in 2007 to be exact, I was a marketing director. So in addition to everything I do, marketing is actually my discipline. That's what I studied. And I was the marketing director for this small cruise line that only did these really exotic and out of the way kind of places. Yeah. And Antarctica was one of the places that we did. Now, I used to write about Antarctica for the cruise line and for the travel magazine, but I only did it from other people's experiences, you know, from what the expedition leaders would say or from photos or research.
Right.
And so I got the opportunity to actually create a press trip to Antarctica so I could get to go. And I took 6 press members from all over the US, from 6 different publications down to Antarctica, started in Buenos Aires, because it just seemed like, okay, so anybody can go to Greece, anybody can go to, you know, China.
Right,
but
right.
Who goes to Antarctica?
Yeah, I know very few people.
Yes, literally back in 2007, there were only 20,000 people who made it to Antarctica.
Wow.
The last statistic was 40,000. So if you think of how many hundreds of millions of people travel every year to tourist destinations, it's a teeny tiny fraction. And only about half of those ever actually get to step foot on the continent. Wow. So for me, it was like, whoa. I mean, I can go to Africa anytime.
Right.
Antarctica, just completely different. And it was nice to be the first Jamaican woman to do it.
What? That is awesome. That is awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
It was, what's the right word? It was otherworldly. is the only word I can come up with. Because when I told my friends I was gonna go, a lot of them were like, "You're going to go do what? Look on ice? You know, come check my freezer. I got lots of ice."
Yeah.
But it was so much more than that. It's a scenery that you can't imagine. It's so surreal, because if you can ever imagine a world in which there's no pollution, where the air is absolutely pristinely clean, where everything is natural the way God made it and intended for it to be.
Right.
That's what Antarctica is. The scenery was just as spectacular. These stark black mountains with this beautiful layer of white ice on it. The wildlife, the penguins, the penguins were just amazing to be able to walk around and have all this fascinating wildlife in its natural habitat, not in a zoo behind a cage, walking around with you. The smells, the sounds, the sights, the seals. It was just a truly fascinating experience. And we saw lots of whales. Unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures of whales. Every time I went click, the whale was gone.
I love the whales are one of my favorite like sea animals, like period. How were the animals like interacting with humans? Were they like aware? Were they just curious? Did they chase you around?
They literally didn't care that we were there. They just didn't care. So on Paradise, at Waterboat Point, which is on Paradise Island, which is where there's a huge rookery of Gentoo penguins, there's actually a Chilean research station there. And it's manned 3 years out of the month.
Wow.
Did I say 3 years out of the month? 3 months out of the year.
I got you.
So the penguins are used to people being there, but you don't get in their way. So you stop. If there are penguins passing, you stop and let them pass. You're not allowed to touch them or mess with them. And they don't seem to care whether you're there or not. Same on the other island that we went to, which had a large rookery of chin-strap penguins. They were just there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Don't bother me, I won't bother you. The only animal you had to be afraid of was the skua gull. There's a gull called a skua gull, and it feeds on the carcasses. And I think there might be a picture on my website, but there are pictures of it. It feeds on the carcasses of the dead animals, but it will also attack you. So we were told when we went on land, if you saw this bird diving, duck, cover your head. It's coming for you.
Don't even tell me that, Judith. I have a fear of birds. I'm trying to get over it.
Really?
I'm trying to get over it. And that was one of my things. They just dive in. I'm like, I think they could dive in and attack you. Yeah. So anyway, can you tell us about, because I'm just curious about the environment. Did you sleep in tents? Were you
No.
Okay.
We went on a ship. It's too cold for you to sleep in tents, first of all. When I went, it was the austral summer. So it's upside down. This is south. So the summer is, in the winter for us. And so I went in February, which is coming close to the end of the austral summer. So it was warm for Antarctica. The days were like 35, 40 degrees, which is not warm for us, but warm there.
Yeah.
So we slept on the ship and then took these little boats on shore. Boats are called Zodiacs. But each trip to the shore, you only were on shore for maybe 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because to prevent too many people being on shore and the footprint being too large, they took only small groups on shore with you. So maybe 5 groups of 20 people each went on shore at any given time. And we kind of had to do it in rotation so that you didn't have more than maybe 50 people on shore at any one time.
Yeah, wow. I think we have a clip that's playing right now. Guys, our listeners, if you guys are listening, you guys got to go to YouTube and check this out because these are amazing video and images.
Yeah, that's a movie that I did. I did a film called Inspiring Antarctica, a Jamaican on Ice, and it is on YouTube. It's right there on YouTube, which actually, it's not long. It's like 16 minutes, but it takes you through my experience with footage that I shot, I'm happy to say.
It's beautiful footage, beautiful.
Now imagine that was long before HD. My husband is a wizard. He is amazing with turning footage that I have that's not great into this, because he's a filmmaker and he does all the editing and stuff. And so I made this 16-minute film, and out of it I also created 2 books. And there's also the penguin slide. You can look for that video as well, which is the song, which I do with the kids.
That's so amazing.
And there's a photo exhibit. See, that's the penguin slide.
Yeah.
Right there.
That is so amazing. Can you tell us some lessons that you learned while on this trip?
Well, on that trip, I learned, and I've always been big on the environment, but it became even more clear just how connected we are in this world. And that everything that happens in one side of the globe affects everybody. And how important it is for us to take care of the whole earth, not just our little portion. Right. Because 80% of all the water in the world is locked up in ice in Antarctica. Wow. So if we don't take care of the world and that starts to melt, we're not gonna escape it. The rest of us are getting it. We're gonna flood. My little island of Jamaica will be underwater. So I really got a better appreciation for just how connected the world is and just how perfect God built it, He just did this amazing thing where He built this world and everything is so connected and we're the ones destroying it. Let me tell you about the most fascinating thing that happened while I was there though.
Okay.
I was on deck one night at about 9:30 and the sun was just setting, brilliant sunsets. And we looked towards the south. It was really cold that night. We stayed until the sunset and the moon was rising. But what was fascinating about it, and you need that special kind of lens to photograph it.
Yeah.
Because as it was coming up over the horizon, you could actually see the shadow of the earth on the moon. Not like an eclipse now, like really like the shadow of the earth as it rose over the horizon. It was perfect proof that the earth is round if you needed proof.
Right. Some people still believe otherwise, but
you still have flat earthers.
Yeah.
But that was probably the most fascinating thing I saw. I also learned that there's plant life down there in the middle of all that cold. There's a red, a yellow, and a white algae that blooms. There was a red algae bloom all over the place while we were there. In some of the pictures, you can see it. And I also learned, by the way, that batteries do not last long in very cold weather.
Oh boy. Okay, so you have to have like an ample supply.
Yes, or close to the poles. So if you're going anywhere close to the poles, north or south, make sure you have ample supplies of batteries. They don't last long.
Wow. So how can people get in touch with you, support you, be part of Jamaica on Ice, and maybe do a trip for themselves? Oh, real quick, we actually have a listener question that came in. One comment said, "This is amazing," which it really is. And the question said, "How has this trip enhanced your mindset and how you view the power of thinking?"
How it has enhanced is it has made me, I've always been interested in travel. And I've always traveled. I love traveling. But it made me realize just how much more there was to this world than what we were taught. And what we see when we see pictures. You see pictures of travel documentaries to China, and you see the same section of the Great Wall. But the Great Wall is hundreds of miles long, And so it really opened my mind to just how much more there was to the world. And I think that's really what I caught from it, and just how much more I want to see before God decides it's time for me to leave here.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions coming in. One that I have is, do you think it's almost like a necessity or maybe something that people really should aspire to travel?
Definitely.
To help broaden their horizons?
Definitely. The best education you'll ever get, and I'm a reader, I'm a writer, but the best education you'll ever get is not in a book, it's not on TV, it's from getting out there and traveling and seeing the world as it is, not as somebody presented it to you. And I'm a filmmaker, so I present it to you, but not as somebody presented it to you through their eyes, but through your own eyes. That's how you really learn. It's the best education in the world, to be able to experience other cultures and other foods. And it also makes us more tolerant of people. And it makes us more tolerable, because now we understand that our Western way of thinking, or our Jamaican way of thinking, or our American way of thinking is not the only thinking that exists.
Yes, yes.
You know, there are other people, and we learn how to appreciate other people and their cultures and their own ways of thinking.
Yeah, and maybe you could grow and have lessons from their ways of thinking. Like, it's not just about you.
Yes.
We have a lot of comments coming in and questions. Okay, we have one comment that said, you looked like you were alive. How different did being alive feel in that purity of the environment?
Totally alive. I think it was 100% alive is what I would have to say. Because for the first time, I was experiencing Earth the way it was created, the way it was meant to be, with no pollution, no noise, no human interaction and interventions that destroy anything. So 100% alive.
Wow. We have another comment that said, I am so incredibly proud to be a Jamaican. Just watching your segment, you are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have another couple questions. Okay, this first one is, how has this trip increased your innovative thought process?
Well, that's a good one, because out of this trip, so it took me 12 years to finally get the exhibit and everything up. I was busy making movies and doing other things. And what came out of this is that in February, I did a massive launch and photo exhibit and everything at the National Gallery in Jamaica. I launched the books, I showed the film, and I had the exhibit up. And what came out of that was that we had a students' day where over 300 students, some coming from as far as Montego Bay, which is a long way off, came to see the exhibit, ask questions. We had engaging conversation about the environment. They watched the film, we read from the books, everything. And what came out of that is something called Travel to Educate, which is a new company that we've just set up. And each year, we're going to now take on the road an exhibit, photo exhibit, film, everything from somewhere else that we've traveled to educate children about the world.
Right.
And we've already started, in fact, last week, right here in Florida, because I'm in Florida, by Zoom, I did the fifth grade at Palm Bay Elementary School, three days. I had fifth graders showing them the film, talking about the environment, and it has really opened an avenue for me to reach young people. I've always worked with young people because I work with Jamaica Youth for Christ as well, but it's like a totally different education I'm giving them, you know, to be able to see the world and to have a little 12-year-old child look at me and say, Miss, I've always dreamt of going to places and seeing the world, but I never thought that I would be able to do it because, you know, but to see another Jamaican like myself in these strange places makes me know I can do it too. So I'm using this as a tool to empower young people to see the world beyond maths and English.
Yeah.
And to recognize that the great, big, beautiful world that God created is still out there. It's still, we have to take care of it, and we need to see it and enjoy it, because that's why he created it.
Yeah. And it's really great because I know a lot of children, even just financially or just because of the world that we're in right now, can't travel. So having, even if it's a virtual way, to know, oh, there's more than my backyard, you know, that is absolutely amazing. We have another comment / question said, I love your energy. How have you changed since this visit?
Well, my energy is the same. I've always kind of been very upbeat, very positive. I woke up many moons ago knowing that I didn't owe the world didn't owe me anything. I owed the world. And I recognized that there's just this big, beautiful world out there. And, you know, in the middle of COVID, in the middle of all the horrors, in the middle of all the atrocities that man has perpetrated on the earth and perpetrated against each other, There is still beauty out there.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get caught up and depressed in what's bad. We have to seek what's good. You know, the Bible tells us to think on these things. We have to tell our minds what to think on. We have to grab hold of it. And so that's what that energy you're seeing is me very early in life, grabbing hold of life and realizing that I have one that I'm aware of on this earth. And so I have to live it. I have to live it to empower other people because that's what we're put here to. We're put here to be a blessing to others. You know, otherwise I always say we're just breathing God's air for no good reason.
Yeah, that is true. That is a great outlook on that. I have 2 questions. I guess we already addressed this one. How has this changed your outlook on life?
Okay, I think I addressed that one. It's just making me more aware. Yeah.
Yeah. And second one, people want to know, how can we join this cruise?
Okay, so there are 2 ways to get to Antarctica. All of them by ship. But there are some big cruise lines that offer cruises to Antarctica. If it's a big ship, you'll go into Antarctic waters, but you'll not be able to go as far south as I went, because we were in ice fields surrounded by ice. So to get all the way down there, you would have to join an expedition cruise or be on a small ship that has an ice-breaking hull or a strengthened hull that can handle ice fields. We didn't have to worry. Our ship had a strengthened hull. So if, God forbid, ice did hit against us, we didn't have to worry about a Titanic moment.
Okay.
So they're expensive. These cruises are very expensive. I could not have afforded it, which is why when I got the opportunity working for the cruise line, I was like, I'm not leaving this job until I go.
Yeah.
Because that was a benefit I could have. But it is so worth it. But just search it online. And it depends if, it's nice to be able to say you went to Antarctica as well, even if you can't have the very same experience.
Right.
Because there's still experiences within Antarctic waters that are not that far south, that are also brilliant experiences that you can find on the big cruise lines that will offer you that. It's the small cruise lines, the expedition ships, the exotic cruise lines, which only have small ships, where you will be able to find a cruise that would take you all the way down to where I went.
Wow. I'm excited. I'm typing this up. I'm just like, okay, next trip, eventually. In the time, gonna make a trip down. How can we support you? How can we get your books? How can we, watch more of your films?
Well, I'm on YouTube. So everything I have is on YouTube. You can check me out, Judith Fallon Reed. I'm there. You can just go to my website, JamaicanOnIce.com, or I have 2 websites. JamaicanOnIce.com was created for the whole entire experience with Antarctica. JFallonReed.com is my website that has every single living thing that I do. But you can go to one from the other. So just go to JamaicanOnIce.com. My books are there. You can buy books. They're available for sale, not just the Antarctica books, but all my novels, my Monday Morning Meditation, which is a self-help book. They're all there on my website. So you can check that out, or just go to YouTube, look for me. My name is unique. It's Fallon Reed. It's my husband's name is Brown, but Fallon Reed is a name I had before, and I've been writing in it for like 25, 30 years, so I kept it. So I'm pretty easy to find. Honestly, I'm pretty easy to find. Just Google me and everything will pop up. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram as Barefoot Island Girl JA. The only thing I'm not on is I'm on Twitter, but I really don't tweet. I can't handle it.
I can't.
I can't with Twitter. I just can't. But all the stuff that I do, if you go to YouTube, you'll be able to find a radio drama. You'll be able to see episodes of Shelf Life, which is my TV show, and also IRITimesTV.com. I really gotta say that because this is a new venture that my husband and I are in with our partner. And IRITimesTV.com is Caribbean TV, free Caribbean online TV that also carries a lot of my stuff. So you'll be able to see stuff there too. So it's pretty easy to find me. and find what I do. You can support by buying books. That's always a great way to support. And if you want more information on Travel to Educate and how you can get involved in that, we will need support in that, because that's a venture that's going to take quite a bit of support, financially and otherwise, to be able to go around Jamaica. I've already had a partnership with the Jamaica Library Service and the National Library of Jamaica to take exhibits around the whole island. Wow. To all the main libraries, so students from all over the island can get to experience it. And each year we'll take a different destination that we've visited. And my next destination is the Arctic Circle.
Wow. And how can we support? Through same thing, through Jamaica on Ice?
Yes, JamaicanOnIce.com. Awesome. Or just send me an email if you want to support Travel to Educate, and I'll give you the information, because we're still working on the collateral and all the other stuff for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Judith, so much for coming.
This has been such fun.
I love talking to you. Also, I have to say before we leave, I love your earrings.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just want to say that too. And I hope you have. Thanks. I hope you had a great time on our show. I hope you come back as a guest, because we could talk about film and your books and
anytime. Anytime.
All right.
Always willing. Thank you so much. You guys are doing a great job. Love it. And stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Jude. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of the week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Wow, Jessie, that was absolutely amazing. I love having these conversations with people who are just open to, I would say, consuming life and everything about it, because life is meant to be lived, right? Living life intentionally is something that I believe that we need to do more of. And I'm so happy we had this conversation with Judith this morning. And I hope it inspired somebody to, like, after this whole pandemic thing dies down, travel.
Yes.
Here, see what's out. And if you can't, then there's always exhibits that Judith will be putting on. And I can't wait for you to come to Ocho Rios, Judith, because I'm all the way in Ocho Rios to see what that is. Definitely.
I'm in Ocho Rios all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to talk off here. We definitely need to talk
off here, because I'm here all the time. Bye.
All right. Take care. Oh my gosh, and now we go straight into Spotlight before we go. And Keith is back this morning. I can't wait to hear what he's going to play for us this morning. All right, so before Keith comes on though, Aunt Angel is a story of a little girl who got lost and was later discovered and cared for by ants. Both the little girl and the ant family grew fond of each other, but one day the girl went missing again. After going in search of the little girl they named Aunt Angel, they learned her real name was Kelly. And meeting her family could cause the death of one of the ants of the treetop land. So we're just going to go dive a little bit into our spotlight to hear about Aunt Angel a little bit more, and then we come right back to Keith.
Once upon a time, there was a brave little girl who got lost in a treetop. She was very, very sad. She never felt afraid, but she was very lonely. She prayed every morning and every night for an angel to come and rescue her. It had been this way for days. No one knew she was there, or so she thought. All she could recall was that one day she was having fun with her mom, jumping on the huge trampoline she always played in while at home. Up and down, up and down, up. And the next thing she remembered was waking up cold and alone. She woke up in a nest. How she got there, she could not recall. She wouldn't be alone for too long, it seems. She hears footsteps. Or was there just something moving about in the bushes surrounding her? She squeezed her eyes shut. Antella held Aunt Angel's cheek with her forelegs and looked into her eyes, then gently reassured Aunt Angel. Sweetie, we won't ever risk you or any of the other children being hungry and having no food to eat. So we are always storing up the food we harvest for rainy days and droughts. You see Aunt Billy and Aunt Toyd over there? She said, pointing over across the road where Aunt Toyd, Aunt Billy, and some females were bringing more food home and placing them into storage. But Aunt Billy isn't working, he's eating, Aunt Angel said. They both let out a laugh at the same time. They laughed. Antella, his wife, saw the look on his face and hurried up to investigate. Did we have another Aunt Angel, she thought? But that thought didn't linger long as she saw her husband's brows raised in anger. "Who are you?" he asked gruffly. No answer. Antella noticed the nestlings securely clutched under the big bird. There were about 8 legs peeking out from under her as she slept. "She has nestlings, Antoid," Antella whispered. "So she does, but she does not have Aunt Angel," Antoid said in a gruff, fixed tone. "Mom!" cried Auntie, their youngest child. Listen to that sound. It's a scream. And for the very first time, all the ants took a very good look at the below from down below, where they always go to get food. They were realizing now that it was Aunt Angel's home they always went to for food. Aunt Angel was one of them. Forgetting caution, the ants continued crawling towards Aunt Angel. Antoid heard the loudest scream ever. For a split second, all the ants froze. "Ants!" shouted people from the crowd. Antoid didn't even realize more than half of his crew had gone with Aunt Billy and are now devouring the cake, the sweets, and even the ice cream. People were screaming and running as the ants were scattered everywhere. "Oh my gosh!" The exclamation came from the doorway of the house. It was Aunt Angel's older brother, Josh. "Mom, remember how you used to tell me to stop harboring the ants when I would feed them?" His mom turned around with perplexity on her face. "This can't be true," she breathed, covering her mouth with one hand. "But I did it anyway," he continued. "Remember?" Aunt Angel is a story about kindness. It tells the story of a little girl who got lost in a treetop. She was found by the ant family. Although they were different, both the little girl and the ant family's love for each other saved their lives. I'm Raquel Reese, author of the book Aunt Angel.
Wow. And of course, this book can be found in Amazon and on Kindle. It's a great gift for Christmas to share with kids, you know, not just for their own personal reading, but also as a great bedtime story. What do you think, Jessie? I think you're muted. That's what I think. It's been an awesome show today.
I think kids would absolutely love it.
Wow. And of course, we have with us this week again, Keith. Hi, Keith.
Hey, how you doing, ladies? How you doing?
We're absolutely fabulous.
I am excited to be here.
Yeah, so tell us what you're going to play for us this week.
Yeah.
We're like family now, right? We're like family now, aren't we?
That's right. First time you're a visitor, second time you're a friend, third time you're a family.
Yes. So we got a little song here I'm going to play. It's a Christmas tune. I'm going to stand up, though, because I got to bounce a little bit. Actually, it's a slow song, but I'm sure y'all know it. So here we go. Yeah, you ready for it?
Right.
Yeah.
Move my chair. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, everywhere shine. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, hold on.
All right. So Keith, we want to see your face. So we're going to ask you to just like tilt your camera up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was a listener comment.
There we go. There we go. Can you see my face now?
Oh,
yes.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Especially that little run at the end, Keith. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with us and with the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think there's anything more we can say for today's episode, Jessie. We definitely want to again thank God for such a wonderful program. And we want to thank you too for watching wherever you're watching from, anywhere in the world. Thank you for joining us. And definitely, you know, we amplify the voice of positive influencers through education, motivation, and inspiration. And we trust that we have empowered you not just for today, but for the rest of your life.
Yes, and I just wanted to say that if this content was of any value to you, if you really got some really great messages from it, to go ahead, remember to pass it on. Remember to check us out on UME Radio, and I hope that this helped you for next week to get you started for the week.
Awesome stuff. And so with that being said, too, all we can say is we're wishing you happy holidays from Marsha J and Jessie on weekends where we
amplify the voice of positive influencers.
All right. Bye. See you next week.
Guys.
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready.
To inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jessie, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jesselyn Abel, that's JESSELYNE Abel, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jessie.
Amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on